Everyone's getting married.
That's the meta. That's what we've been noticing. It's been the meta for a lot of these pro players, and it's great to see them from turning.
I
the
just
boys
got
to
married.
men. You got married as well.
Congratulations
Wait,
to you. Yeah, he got married earlier.
Karakuri
You were
also
there.
got married.
Yeah, Karakuri also just got married. Mars is getting married soon.
Mars is getting. This is a meta. This
Yeah.
is a BM meta.
Chamilo as well.
Yeah.
And
Chamilo
I think
just got married.
Sunfrost as well.
Sunfrost just got engaged.
Engaged. Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone's getting married.
Oh man, two different worlds. Two different worlds as we're getting right
It's
into
your
the
turn,
drafting.
Gideon.
Hey, let's not go there. Drafting phase.
And you know what?
Get locked in.
Take your time.
If you guys don't see me tomorrow, you know exactly why. 7 more seconds as we try to get into this game. It's time to draft here. This is Tournament Lives. Can they qualify for the playoffs right here, right now, as we go straight into the drafting phase?
Now, seeing how the draft is coming in here, I'm a little bit more worried for how Team Hawk is going to be playing, right? Like, when it comes to new rosters, it takes time to build a little bit of chemistry. And the best part is we were able to take a sneak peek on how Team Hawk drafts earlier this week before the patches as well. So I think RSG MY has a very, very clear indication on how they want to shut down here. May it be Genesis Hero or going to be shutting down on Saken's play style. But so far, knowing Saken, he's been leaning on his Natan a little bit more. So I'm really surprised that RSGMY did not ban this.
They want the low yi.
Oh,
Want that low yi.
for Izanami?
Yeah, for Izanami, man.
Okay, one thing that I do have to say. He's my boy,
He's your boy.
but he can't use Louis.
God, man, he really is your boy, I guess.
No, because every single time they let him use Louis, it's like, okay, 1D, his name, we're going to trust you with this. Right? It's like, I got you. Bet. Every single time he used diversions, they die. He's like, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. And then, and then when that is like, sorry, guys.
I thought this was a rank game experience. I thought you were going on a duel with your boy, and
Like,
he's just throwing.
They're like, you got to try to shot call. I was like, you know what? You want me to shot call? Bet. We also always die. It's like, why did you call for the fight? It's like, oh, I thought we got it.
Oh, this girl came all the way
Yo!
from Indonesia to come and watch MPL MY. That's sick.
I
Hey,
respect
welcome.
that.
Welcome.
I respect that. I respect that a lot. Welcome to MPL MY. Now the first picks are already in. It's going to be Moskov.
Our food is better, by the way.
All right. I don't want to start a war just yet. It's only the first day. This is like a day 3.
But like I don't mind starting a war with Singapore, but Indonesia, debatable.
I'm friends with the Indonesians, okay?
Okay.
Yo, Mirko.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Share a room with him, by
Yo,
the way.
Mirko. Nasi lemak kita orang lagi sedap.
Wait, you have nasi lemak there?
Hey man, let's not turn this into a bigger thing than it needs to be, because Yu Zong as well as Lo Yi just got locked in from the side of Team Hawk. 2 big power picks for the side of Team Hawk, in a matter of fact, in this brand new meta.
Yeah, honestly, this Lee is going to be big for Team Hot. Maima is good when it comes to the macro plays. Like, he is one of the players that makes sure that he's always in a position that he doesn't get caught. And I feel like using a Luid, which is a lane bully, is going to be a very important part of how he plays the game. Deal enough damage without getting caught. Having the Yuzong as well already does a lot of mobility for Team Hot.
I think based on what we've seen so far here, I really want to see how Storm is going to be playing here. Like, though they want to start things off with the Grok or even the Guinevere from him here, but at the same time, or even the Arlott to a certain degree, but no, they don't really pick Storm's hero here. They are going to go for the Fredrin as well as the Farsa instead. Okay.
So they're giving up. Well, no, I
The
can't say
Roger.
that just yet, right? It's less about the Roger, more so they went for the Farsa this early on, knowing that there is a Yuzong pick, knowing that Lo Yi is going to show up in that lane.
He has
So
cojones.
he's got, that's
Like,
for sure.
yeah.
It's like, oh, you got a Yuzong? I know what counters you. A Farsa. That's a lot of cojones.
Okay, okay. But Team Hawk, they double down on Sakeng securing the Natan for this game. So no marksman bans for this upcoming game. It's going to be a battle for roamers as well as XP leaders
I think so far,
for RG.
these are just all strong power picks from the side of Team Hawk, right? I do think the Moskov into the Natan matchup is a little more Moskov favored because of the length of that Pierce. But generally, I think that RSG are going to forego the early phase of this game, maybe. Considering they haven't even picked up their EXP as well, that's something that Team Hawk could eventually set up for. But at the worst of all is that RSG, they could be playing a mid to late game composition, and if Team Hawk are, on fire today, this could be a very early game 1.
Let me just tell you guys, it might not be Moskov against Natan.
Oh?
It might be Pharsa against Nathan.
Oh.
Meaning, like, they will go in the lane, like Moskov and Nathan on the lane, but the problem isn't going to be the Moskov. It's going to be the Pharsa, because the Pharsa, we got to remember, if the Nathan gets caught, like, already using the entropy, that Pharsa is going to hit like a truck, especially because the meta right now is to rush Holy Crystal, third item. Holy Crystal and Lightning Trancha on the Pharsa, that Nathan is not going to survive for a very long time.
Man, it must be... That's got to be a lot of decisions that need to be made by a previous marksman player like Lolio's playing Pharsa and the goal. I'm kidding, but I think that is the right idea to burst down your opponents, but it takes a really long time to get to that third item. Like, Holy Crystal ain't cheap.
Yeah, and again, third item means that you have to be snowballing in the early stage of the game for Turtle 1 and Turtle 2, right? Second and first and second Turtle at least, maybe even a third Turtle to actually get to that stage. But I feel like Team Hawk, their biggest strength right now is having this low Yi on Maima, right? Like, every single time the divergence is up, there's two things he can do. One, check bushes with the ultimate, or two, just get a very, very hard drop on either the gold lane XP or whatever rotations that he wants to, which puts RSG in a spot where, what do I do?
I think finding that flank angle is going to be option number one rather than TPing right into their faces, right? Because I think RSG, they just want to play a traditional front to back. The fact that they're getting rid of the Minotaur, getting rid of the Florid, they want to ensure that these backliners aren't as safe as they think they are. So that way, maybe RSG could be looking for a flanker, but they know for a fact that that Pharsa is definitely going to fall into range of that backline of Team Hawk.
Yeah, seeing Team Hawk right now, I think banning off Storm's Comfort Heroes is going to be the way to go, right? Like, I'm surprised the Grok is going to be let through, but Team Hawk, they prioritize on the Edith instead. So this is going to be a Edith roam coming in from Noir. Nothing super out of ordinary. It's Comfort picks coming for Team Hawk, but RSG, MY, what is Storm going to play?
Here's the thing. We only see 4 picks for Team Hawk, but I'm actually favoring the draft here.
Yeah, I like
everything looks very solid, especially when it comes to the junglers. There's a lot that's still open. You can pick up the Akai, you can pick up the Barats, you can pick up the Baxia. So Team Hawk, they want to see everything else. Now that they've seen the export, now they have a better chance at understanding what kind of jungler that they want. Maybe they can go a little bit of damage if they want. Something like Alpha, maybe?
Possibly. I think the Alpha might be
probably still about rats, but just say.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Alpha might be a little hard. It does require Alpha to walk into the range of the Feather Airstrike before he can get the Spear of Alpha off to cancel it out. Moskov can push him away. I think this is going to be an Akai angle.
Yeah, I feel like Akai is the safest here.
It's the safest. It's a lot of disruption. It can potentially punish this Grok if he loses his power of nature. You don't take too much damage from X-Borg. You can kind of like weave in and out of the fight, which is the most important thing. But no, they go for the damage option.
Okay.
I'm the Janus for a reason, man.
That's true. That's true. Looks like Janus has been doing a lot of homework in these past 2 weeks to prepare for the playoffs. Alpha, this will be interesting, because that means they can only move forward.
Well, seeing how this is happening
nice.
as well here, I feel like Team Hawk is in a prime position to abuse the fact that Alpha, once level 4, level 8, he's going to be unkillable unless they have early endurances.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that Team Hawk, they have a very clear window where they can attack non-stop. Because at one point, especially at level 12, the cooldown for the Spear of Alpha is non-existent. And then the moment that the Nathan gets the Holy Crystal, it's going to be much faster than the Pharsa. So the mid-game for Team Hawk is so strong. Like, it's ugly how strong it is.
Yes. Well, let's see how they're going to be doing this here, because now it is going to be a do or die for both these teams. Game 1 of this best of 5 series here in MBSJ. This is going to be Team Hawk going up against RSG Malaysia for the title.
All right, let's see how they're going to play this out. Because again, these early resources are extremely limited, but it's kind of up for Team Hawk to just be the more proactive one, to look for that early snowball. And even for Stoem, faking it out, making it real difficult for Noir to pinpoint where exactly they started. He's already seen that orange buff, so he knows.
Yeah, the thing is, Storm is able to slow the mid lane. Not really slow the jungle, but able to slow down the mid lane. Lolio so far is doing a little bit of damage onto Saken. And honestly, I agree with Gideon when it comes to the early stages of the game. It is going to be the Moskov game. The Moskov will do well against the Natan.
that lane is over already. Saken already uses Purify,
Oh.
Purify, and now Lolios is a freeze underneath the turret. That lane is done for Saken.
That was going to be a difficult one for him, considering that now I was expecting more aggression coming from Stone, but knowing that there is the new patch coming in, so I'm guessing he's waiting after the 2-minute mark before he starts invading like he usually does as a Grok.
Yeah, I kind of feel like what he did is, again, he acts like he's trying to slow down the jungler so that whenever the mid as well as the roam comes over, he backs off. He's trying to slow down the mid duo, kind of what we saw in previous series, to make sure that Izanami has a better time farming up. Once Izanami gets level 4, then we can start to see Izanami moving around with Storm as well. For now, Storm just wants to slow down the mid trio, giving space for Rippo, but more importantly, giving space to Loliel.
And Lolios is taking full advantage of it. Saken able to find an effective trade back, evening out his score in that lane. So now that he's stabilized, all happening within 1.5 levels, now it's time for level 4. Very first turtle, and we're expecting that Team Hawk should be able to get at least 1 kill off of that neutral fight.
Yeah, hold on, diversion coming in. Vinogo doesn't see this coming.
Oh, from behind, they find Vinogo. Here he comes. Petrify comes in. Chain combo all the way through. Even a feathered airstrike as well. That's going to be first blood in the hands of Team Hawk. But again, the insanity comes in. They will find Maima for their punishment here. Big wall charge coming in, but no retribution for Vinogo. Means Team Hawk secures it. And now Iris finds another one. Yu Jong to win the fights for Team Hawk.
Unfortunate indeed, but at least Rippo didn't go down as well. That lane is definitely skewed, but at least it evens out. However, the people who did die, which in this case is going to be Maima, as well as Stoam, they should be able to recover in that lane. Maima, he's going to be a little slow on this push, right? It's 2 versus 1 for the most part when it comes down to that mid push. We haven't seen a big lane gang coming in from their mid laner just yet from the side of Team Hawk.
I feel like just now is a big wake-up call for RSGMY because for a second, they totally forgot what the lead does. And then after that, I'm pretty sure every single time they want to secure an objective, they gotta double check. In fact, triple check every single push to make sure no funny business is going on.
Oh no, I've seen this happen as well. Noir focusing on Izanami, and at the same time, Lolios gets bursted down by Janus. Izanami will survive, but they've lost the gold laner here for RSGMY.
Good stuff from the side of Team Hawk, and I hope that they're actually going to utilize this tempo. They should be able to get full gold plating here for the side of Saken, so he's going to be pretty topped up fairly fast, but at the same time, Janus now completing that War Axe. His clear speed has now been increased.
Yeah, the thing is, like I said, Team Hawk, non-stop aggression, but
Oh
Maima...
no, hold that thought. Maima getting bursted down very quickly here. Janus tried to save a little bit more, but unfortunately misses the combo. Meanwhile, RGMI, they're finally getting a little bit momentum to actually scale back to this game now.
Right now, it looks like they are able to secure the crab, but again, Team Hawk with this kind of draft, they are basically playing off of their ult cooldowns, right? The moment Maima has the diversion, he can go in because you're just waiting for the Louis, not really waiting for an Alpha. Alpha is always online. He's just like, you tell me to go, I'll go. You tell me to jump, I'll just ask how high.
How many more of those opportunities are they going to find for him? At this point, right, to get a setup like that, do you think Maima should ever be rotating through the river, or at this point, might as well just use the oil?
Well, bottom lane here, Divergent sending them bound bottom here. Saken immediately gets a kill on Lolios. Nicely done here coming from Team Hawk. Meanwhile, middle lane, Turtle going to be out for opens. Now they're going to be trying to buy a little bit more time here with the Black Dragon so the rest of the team from Team Hawk can come into the fight. Storm almost losing his life here. Iris in the Elder form, but he's going to get bursted down. Mistakes were made. Storm with the big wall charge.
Oh!
Janus wins the trade. Vinogo gets bursted down. Team Hawk trades him off. And Saken,
Oh my
he
goodness.
gets a solo kill on Lolios again. What?
Yep, this is looking great for the side of Team Hawk, winning on every single front. Yes, Iris gave up his life, but they still were able to find 2 kills back, one of which he didn't affect at all, and the other with the help of their jungler Janus, landing a good Spear of Alpha in time. For the most part, we've seen how these ganks have been pulled off, and it feels like RSGMY just a little unattentive.
Right now, RSGMY, they got to stop the bleeding somehow because 4,000 gold in 5 minutes, that's a lot. That is
Too much.
That is a 1 item difference, right? And then looking at the gold difference here, roughly double of almost everyone. No, mostly just Saken and Loliel. So they got to stop the bleeding somehow. And it's very difficult to do knowing that Maima could be at anywhere, at any part of the map, and then the Alpha, even just by himself, can dish out the damage. But at this point, because Saken has won and he has over 2,000 gold over Loliel, he can start joining these fights because he already has, dude, 2 items.
Yep.
2 items.
2 items 6 minutes into the game. 6 minutes, 10 seconds.
Oh, hold that thought for now. Divergent coming in. Okay.
take it.
They didn't take it. They didn't take it. So Team Hawk, they have Janus here. Janus, he is going to hurt a little bit here. All he needs is just like at least catch 2 men with the ultimate. Someone is going to die. Feather Airstrike already expended. What? Okay.
Oh, no, it's okay. Because like I said, stop the bleeding. Don't put yourself in harm's way.
Yep. And the best way to do that, Feathered Airstrike, right? Truly puts you out of harm's way unless you're willing to commit for it. And I think that Team Hawk, at this point, just slowing down Vinogo's economy, right? Janus already a full level ahead of Vinogo. Can make it into 2 levels if he wants to, but there's just nothing to farm as of right now. And there's still plenty of tier 1s. That mid-tier 1 really annoying Team Hawk.
And right now, for Team Hot, this should be a free turtle. Because I find it very difficult for RSGMY to actually get a steal here. But if they do, it's very impressive.
Oh, they have to do something now. Divergent down bottom. Conceal play. Looking for the catch. Noir missing the flicker. Black Dragon going to be zoning them off. They secure the turtle. But all those flashy moves only for a turtle. And RSGMY not committing.
Is there any consideration to actually go for the next time the Lord or the turtle spawns to actually TP into the lane itself, right? Lane bush, and then after that go conceal to try for this flank.
For RSG or for Team Hawk?
For Team Hawk.
Oh, for Team Hawk, it could make any play right now. But to be fair, they kind of don't have to because they're at a point where they can force things out without really relying on it.
Oh, hold that thought because Storm now from behind with the wall charge. He's going to try and stop Janus here. They do find Vinogo instead, getting completely bursted down. And RGMY not even retaliating this fight. And somehow Team Hawk is just snowballing even harder now. 5.6k, almost 6k. And RGMY can't seem to do anything in this stage.
The thing is, you can't front-to-front team fight against Team Hot. They have a Louis, they have an Alpha. And they even have a Natan with the second skill. He can jumble you up. So there's really no way for you to start a fight from the front. They got to find flank angles at this point. And with this kind of draft, it's actually not easy for you to find those flank angles.
It's really not. I think the only way they take a front to back is if Maima, Noir, and Janus just all happen to be in one spot, right? They're all lined up together. They all get hit by the initial engage coming in from Stoem, and then maybe something could happen. But at this point of time, a 6.6k lead is pretty significant, right? For RSGMY members, it means that Izanami is going to be very, very late on that Holy Crystal.
Yep, Divergent comes in, does scout out the members, but again, not committing to the play. And because of this, RSGMY, they saw that, they were like so afraid, and that split second backing off means that it's secure tier 2 up top.
Right now, honestly, with the draft that RSGMY have, this is a very difficult position to be in, man. Like, you don't have a lot of outs for this one. The only thing is, maybe Loliel gets 3 items, gets a good Spear of Destruction onto Saken or Maima, and then he can try to 1v5, but it's easier said than done, because for him to get to those kind of items, it's not gonna be good. And Saken now having the Holy Crystal, the front line is not gonna be a front line.
Yeah, they're gonna melt so quick unless Saken makes like a significant mistake here.
Oh, Noir now going for the flicker play, and Iris from under as well, going for the Black Dragon to zone them off. And guess what? Objective is key, and Team Hawk secures the lot because of this play. But Divergent up top here, well, looks like they're going for efficient farming for Saken.
Yeah, just managing the wave, because at this point, you don't have to really do anything fancy, right? 7,000 gold lead. Saken already hit his power spike. Don't need to make any risky moves.
Yeah.
You don't have to take fights that you don't have to take, because at this point, it's on RSGMY. It's not on Team Hawk, right? Team Hawk can just walk, attack, and then RSGMY, they're the one that has to respond.
That's a good point here. Let's see what are the main conditions, right? Feathered Airstrike, Wild Charge. Those are the big ultimates that we're waiting to see.
Well, in this case, are they going to be able to set this up though? With the Lord collapsing really soon, Team Hawk, they will have the Black Dragon soon up on Iris. And once that's up, RGMY has to find a way to stop this.
I think this should be like a guaranteed inhibitor, right? Like, they've got the resources to fight for it if necessary.
Yep, conceal play comes in. Janus, you know, they do bait out the Feathered Airstrike for now, but the Lord is still standing relatively healthy. Saken looking for the play. Oh, Noir tries to go for dive as well. Same goes for Janus. They try to go to collapse. Logo getting bursted down. Eventually gets taken down by Maima. They take the tier 1 and they get a free B. 5 men alive for Hawk, and RSGMY got hit and got ran over.
if I was RGMY, I would think of game number 2. Because I feel like you really got to look at the draft. As much as I love Izanami on a Farsa, going up against, using a Farsa against a Yuzong that you've already seen, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel good.
It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Like, this is a difficult game for RSGMY in so many factors. The areas of which they are strongest at, they weren't able to make it last, and Team Hawk so far has been outplaying them from laning to even these team fights. The snowball lead doesn't seem to be going anytime soon unless we see a huge mistake from the side of Team Hawk, and I don't see that happening. Like, Saken, nothing really threatens him unless we see him like get caught up by 3 people in a single WoW charge, or maybe Vinogo is able to catch 3. One or the other, and even then, that's under the assumption that Izanami has enough damage to one-shot him in that first rotation.
You know, this is a very sad situation for RSG MY fans and even themselves right now, because Team Hawk, right now, look at Saken's item. This is an item where we normally see Saken kind of into the later stage of game, but for him to get it this early, I don't know if they can even tank his damage right now.
I mean, can't, right?
But Nogo and Stome only have one item. Only have one completed item in 12 minutes. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, just have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time. This is an amazing game. So right now Team Hawk, they still have a lead, 5k gold lead. But at this point, everyone's topped off, right?
Yeah.
Because at this point, I'm pretty sure Stome and Vinogo have at least 3 items. So now they're a little bit tanky. And now we see that Team Hawk, they're not as confident as they were in the early stages of the game. Now, we don't see a lot of uber aggressive movements coming in from them.
I mean, to be fair, Team Hawk is not known for like being uber aggressive. They know how to chase down kills. They generally have a shape of the fight that they have in mind before they go in. But the big problem now is that they've been punished for their hesitancy. You gave us so many opportunities to actually hold out our high ground defense, and now you're going to have to pay the price.
Yeah, and on top of it all, they bought enough time to get immortalities up on Repo, as well as I think Izanami has one, Vinogo has one as well, so that's going to be a little bit of a big problem here. Team Hawk drops it out here, made a little bit of mistake. Fighter airstrike comes in, Izanami forced to cancel immediately because of the Black Dragon. Iris still looking to try and peel against RSGMY, but no value at all. But Luleo's from the sides, he's going to get caught up. Purify comes in, it's again. No! The wall charge from Stome stops them all, and now Team Hawk, they're losing too much health. They need to run 1 HP survival, and same can be said for Repo. And they trade at a narrowly near-death experience. No one is dying. Now, even with the divergence, they're trying to kill Repo. No one has died. Everyone almost dying here. 5 men alive for all 2 teams. Wow.
What a fine line. What a fine line that was in RSG. They're not done with it just yet, right? Even concealing back to regain the position lost against Team Hawk, especially with the Lord already up. What a fight that was.
And it looks like he's going to continue because the Lord is restarting because no one died. Okay. And now they got Rippo.
Take 2, no battle spells up on Immortality, on Lolios, but Repo now going to be dived on. Iris looking for the finish, going to get killed.
I was dead!
The back lines as well. Lolios finds Maima, but no, actually Maima survived it. And he's going to make a run for it. He actually diverged out of there. But now the Lord comes in. Saken secures the Lord. And interesting now, Lolio is stranded. 4v1. Can he survive? No, he cannot. Saken gets the kill. Team Hawk, they both survive. And guess what? What an outplay from Maima.
Excuse me, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, Lolios almost made the super play of a lifetime there.
Maima diverged into RSGMY's purple buff.
Dude, I mean, like, Maima, like, I think he used all of his luck in that one play.
Yeah, he did. He really did, because Team Hawk are now running down with the Lord to close out this game. No more third chances.
Well, Stome now losing his life fairly quickly. Lolio's 20 seconds on the sidelines. Vinogo trying to clear off the minions, but it's not good enough. Team Hawk takes game 1 with a series of jabs, but eventually Team Hawk, that has been dominating, will be the ones to be ahead in this game.
Nicely done by Team Hawk here. What a game this was. Draft definitely looking weird from the side of RSG, but they still hold on for as long as they possibly could until they could not.
I mean, with a quote-unquote bad draft, they did that well. I feel like Team Hawk, they gotta be careful, man, because if RG comes in with a more better draft coming in for game number 2, they should be worried because I feel like Izanami was still deathless in that game. And if you guys missed the game just now, let me just say, it's hard to explain what RG did to delay that game that far.
I think they just tried to outplay it, right? That's what it felt like they did. They're like, okay, we got a couple of bad matchups, but if we just dodge the abilities, guys, if we just outplay the team fight, we'll win.
The comms, like, it's not that hard. Just kill Saken. Just kill Maima.
Just dodge the stun.
The thing is, they did it. They killed Saken one time. I believe they killed Maima, and then there were multiple attempts to get Maima. It's just that, how do you survive that? A full onslaught by a Moskov, and you're still able to diverge in somewhere else.
To be fair, I think he got real lucky there. He got real lucky. 1 HP before he was about to die. A single auto attack, even if it was mid-animation, he would have still died when the projectile connects.
You know what wasn't lucky?
What wasn't lucky?
Benogo was all alone inside the Lord Pit. Lost the retry battle against Natan. Something about the junglers today.
Something about the jungling.
It is a little bit unfortunate for all these players here. Like, it seems like it might be playoff nerves or it could be jitters here. It might be the crowd, but it seems like there has been a lot of individual misplays coming in here for just today in particular. And that game, I feel like one of the most sickest play is that I did not expect Team Hawk to pull in the Alpha. And what do you guys think about Alpha? Do you think he's going to be the MVP this match?
Well, as an MVP, might be a little bit hard. We'll talk about it in a little bit, unless.
Oh, it's not them. It's not Min or Man.
It's not them. It's Saken coming out from Team Hawk, having a big game here. He did blunder. He did blunder a couple of times, but still able to recover very, very well. That early to mid, disgusting.
Dude, he completed his 3 items so fast. And the thing is, the items aren't cheap, man.
No.
It's not cheap.
They're so expensive.
Yeah, it's so expensive, and he managed to get things done. And he has the Weapon Master as well. So if you think Holy Crystal by itself is pretty strong, try Holy Crystal with a Weapon Master.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt. Like, it's the additional 15% extra battle power. Is it 15%, 20% if I'm not mistaken here? But again, a lot of damage being done from Saken, and seeing how he has played so far, this is so a comfort here from Team Hawk. I think I've thought about this throughout the entire the start of the draft as well. Is RSGMY gonna respect this and just ban it off right from the get-go?
I feel like there's a lot of disrespect when you pick a Farsa when you see a Yuzong. So I think it's like, it's not even a question anymore.
I would agree with that statement. I would definitely agree. I thought that RSG was setting up for like a Loyi on Izanami. You told us otherwise, it was kind of a weird way to actually initiate these bans. And I think that RSG, honestly, 6-11, a considerably low kill count for an MPL-MY game.
I mean, like, again, a lot of members from Team Hawk could take this Farsa down, but Farsa was not taken down. So respect where respect is due. Even though you're putting your hero against a bad matchup, I still believe that Izanami still dealt significant damage without dying.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about Izanami, right? Like, he's always using those Feather Extract preemptively, trying to bait out the early Black Dragon, right? Like, and a majority of time coming for RGMY is that they have to deal with Iris coming to the fight. And because of all this Tai Chi fighting, or in this case, wishing and washing here, balancing each other, trying to juke each other spells most of the time, eventually came down to a situation where who has enough ammunition to continue the fight.
Well, here's the thing. I feel bad for people that did not watch what was the transition point for RSG to defend their base and deal a lot of damage onto Team Hawk. Like, with one team fight, they went all the way to the inhibitor. If they won one more fight, if Lolia killed Maima, if Vinogo secured the Lord, this could have been RSG's game. Like, even though Team Hawk dominated the early and the mid, but late game, RSG definitely had a chance.
They definitely did, right? And I think a lot of it just comes down to how impactful was the WoW charge, specifically from Storm. His timings on this can be disgusting, not giving even players like Saken an opportunity to get out in time, getting locked very, very soon. And even when the Purify is gone, that's when he's the most susceptible. And I think that Storm, he's hyper aware of everything that's going on the battlefield and in the middle of team fights.
Yeah, and seeing how Storm's been playing here, I feel like this doesn't feel like the usual Storm we've played. I feel like this patch has definitely affected his usual playstyle. He's trying to get a little bit more aggressive here, but his wall charge has been really, really on point. But I think there were a couple of blunders where I think you mentioned this as well. Like, Saken does hit a very, very early power spike, But I'm really surprised on how Team Hawk is just so afraid to actually risk it all when he could have just one-shotted. And I think he did a damage check on Stone, which melted in like 2 to 3 seconds down the bottom fight.
I mean, Saken was definitely on this Natan, stat checking both Lolios and as well as Stone, but I can
His
definitely
damage.
understand like the hesitancy, right? Because especially once we got closer towards the 11-minute mark of the game, that's when Team Hawk recognizes that if we lose like 3, maybe even 4 people, that's basically just giving away our entire lead that we've developed for the past 8 minutes over to RSG to equalize. And I think, you know, that definitely played a factor. And even closing towards the end of that game when they were looking to close, you could just see that Team Hawk was kind of done with this game. Even Saken was just beelining into the crystal with or without the minions.
I mean, despite RG having a bad game, I feel like Loliel and Izanami still doing quite a lot of damage here, right? Despite everything, like, you don't have enough space to do this, you don't have enough space to do that. Loliel starting the game with 0, 3, and 0. I feel like it's still respectable. It's still a good damage with what they've got.
Yeah, it all comes down to who is going to be caught out by Lolios, right? And again, I talked about this as well. Like, Lolios is going to be that guy that sets up and starts the fight.
I mean, like, here's the thing. It's damage on the right targets as well.
Yeah.
It's not damage just dealing damage to the front lines. They went straight to the back. Loliel got Maima quite a few times, and they got Saken as well. So it's the quality of the damage is still good. But we still have to say the draft is a big factor. RG cannot come in with this kind of lineup and hoping for the best against Louis, against a Natan, against an Edith. There's so much powerhouses that you're giving to Team Hawk.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. And considering that there's a good amount of research that goes into this, right? If RSG is taking away the Moskov, is it because Lolios is just that good on the Moskov, or are they more afraid that Saken gets his hands on it? And personally, for me, I think they just have a lot of faith in Loliel.
Yeah. I mean, like, he got the backline with the Spear of Destruction.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's legit. Loliel on the Moskov is legit. It's just that everything else has to step up.
Yeah, and speaking of stepping up here, Vinogo getting completely shut down every single time he runs up to this place, right? Like, normally you would see like a hero like Baxia or even an Arkai to a certain degree, or even occasionally a Martis once upon a time when we talk about Frederick matchups. But for this matchup, him going up with Janus, I think there were multiple instances where Vinogo couldn't even sustain the burst coming from both Maima and Janus before he could proper praises round or anything. Like, I don't know, like Janus just shoves him out of the wave, few combos in, 2 damage. Vinogo's so low to the point that, what do I do?
You know what came to my mind? That has nothing to do with what we've been talking about.
What?
Completely nothing. Isn't it ironic that Moonton is trying to buff the assassins to make them more relevant in the meta? And now even Nolan is open. No one's picking up the Nolan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Good point.
Right? So, like, before this, Nolan could go into the jungle and punish someone. But now even he can do that. So,
Yeah.
in a way, even Nolan was nerfed.
Yeah, to a certain degree, yes.
Yeah.
I can definitely agree with that sentiment.
it's
I think
Nolan's
Especially
open,
for the first 2 minutes, right? Yeah.
Well, I definitely think that a couple of changes could have been made to make that that stage of the game a little bit better. But for the most part, I think based off of what we're seeing on these stats, for the true damage makes sense. Vinogo is basically left on an island. I feel like for a majority of this game, Vinogo is told, hey, you're going to try and contest for Retribution. The rest of us are going to be looking for that fight. And that's why we don't get to see Vinogo get the extra help and support to burst down neutrals.
Yeah, but the thing is, as a front line, you can't deal with an Edith, you can't deal with a Louis, you can't deal with an Alpha, Natan with Holy Crystal. Like, there's only so much a Fredrin can do.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see value in him? You should, but not against this kind of lineup.
Yeah. Can we talk about how Janus has got 72,000 healing here? Like, is he been sustaining throughout all these fights against Vinogo, or he's been going back or what? Because I feel like he's been having too much spell realm out of nowhere.
When it's inbuilt, it's natural. It's all natural. Let's look at the Hall of Famers here. It's going to be Rich Guy and the Carry going over to Saken once again. And Sandbag going over to Storm. Best wingman going to be Noir. Because so far, man, Noir, he is generous on that ult button. He just goes right into it, especially on Edith as well. I thought he would have held on to his ult a little bit longer, but no. Starts it off. That's how you know exactly when Team Hawk is going to try and burst down a Lord or a Turtle.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
He's putting the fear of God into RSG. Because
Wrath of God.
Edith is the protector of the gods, okay?
Okay.
So he's like, I know I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna ult in front of you, stare you down, and ask you, "What's up?
You up?
What you gonna do? I'm eating."
Walk past
Waka
me?
waka.
What? Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
that's
the
that's
voice
why you
lines,
say.
yes.
Yeah, that's one of the voice lines. I'm eating waka waka.
I'm here for some waka waka, man.
Now, let's talk a little bit more on the heat maps here for Saken and how he's been rotating thus far in all these maps here. And let's talk through some sense here. What happened in this? Like kills, assists, what's going on?
Yeah.
Analysts?
I mean, look, if you look at the KDA map and you wait for it to loop back one more time, you can see exactly when they start getting rid of heroes,
Okay.
assists, kills, and even the turrets, right? In that order. This is from...
Look at how fast it is too.
I mean, we're comprehensive. We're, compressing 21 minutes worth of gameplay. Well, technically, if we round it up 22, into, like, what? The 3-second segment here that we're seeing. For the most part, right? A lot of these kills happening towards the second side of the map because he's gold.
Yeah, he's just like, come up to me. I'm gonna bam bam chicka bam you all the way.
He's not even the one taking out the turrets on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah.
He's been starting off a lot of interesting fights as well. I think one of the most important one here, I think it was that moment where you can see the green shield right below the turtle pit here, where they actually did a damage hack on Storm, right? Like it's like 2 seconds, boom, he's dead. So ever since that happened, Saken was like super confident to just go in and like if he doesn't die, he's gonna destroy everyone here. And yeah, so
Yeah. I mean, his damage is coming from a different dimension.
yeah, I agree. And I think we're getting a little bit distracted here. I think
Are
we're gonna
we?
talk to Chip.
Huh?
Yeah, okay, never mind, forget it.
I'm just distracted by the KDA map.
Dude,
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
I mean,
I'm not prepared for this today.
I'm distracted by Picasso, man.
Hey, man. What?
Oh wait, sorry.
I'm about
Oh,
to...
is it not Picasso?
Hey, man. This guy was depressed. Van Gogh has...
Oh, Van Gogh. All
He's
right.
gonna have a word with you. He's gonna have a word with you, brother, man. A starry night. Now, let's look at the official highlights here, brought to you by our official gaming phone, Republic of Gamers. Now, there's not much to be said about this. It's a pretty straightforward game so far. I'm just waiting to see what this upcoming like adapted draft from the side of RSG MY is going to look like.
The only thing that we can take away from the highlights is that Team Hawk is all about go, 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 and go. Not stopping. The moment your ult is up, we're going in. The moment the ult is up, going in. I'm talking about Maima on that Louis, by the way. Which I kind of feel like, you're talking about a Natan, I kind of feel like you can't let this Louis go.
Yeah,
I
no.
kind of feel like, looking at the early stage of the game, Lolia was having a good time against the Natan. So he can win. So the matchup is good. And Izanami can kill Natan as well. The one that they have a bit trouble of is the Louis. I kind of feel like you can't let the Louis go.
Yeah,
I think to top on top of that as well here is also the fact that when it comes to the mindsets on what RGMI was trying to approach those fights, right? Like normally when a Hearts Guard is dropped, you kind of want to, there's two things you can do. Run away, wait for the Hearts Guard, and then re-engage the fight. Whereas from the side of RGMI, they have a couple of things they need to worry about. Primal Wrath, Entropy, as well as the Black Dragon form. So if you wait for the Primal Wrath, all Team Hawk did was kind of like you said, right? What was Noir doing? He popped on Primal Wrath. Oh wait, you know what? He's not getting any value. Let's wait for that. And that pretty much buys time for the Alpha to kind of clear us off jungle. By the time the Primal Wrath is finished here comes the Black Dragon. Here comes the Entropy. So I guess it comes down to what RGMY has to do in terms of comms on how they want to take the fight. And I feel like there's just so many ways that Team Hawk could have just won that fight. And in this case, I think RGO might just overthink what they needed to do. And I agree with Lafel. What was with the Farsa pick?
Well, I think it's less about thinking about it and more so of just don't die. You know, very simple communication. Just don't die.
Don't die.
Don't
Not
get
that hard.
Yeah, don't give a double kill. Make sure we end up with a Savage at some point in the game. Doesn't matter when. We crack the crystal and we win. GG, well played.
Yeah,
you know?
if they attack you, dodge.
Exactly.
Dodge?
Right?
Yeah.
Yep, just do
It's
the
not that
Matrix
hard.
thing. Just do the Matrix thing, dodge the bullets in slow motion, ideally.
Natan shoot left, you go to the right.
Yeah.
Wait,
What?
actually no. I feel like if you reverse it, then you're going towards the damage. But
Okay. Usually Natan drops his Entropy behind so that on the first skill you can get 2 stacks instead. Because if you put it on the side, you can't. But anyways, we have a very, very interesting session right now. Because here at MBSJ, we have a very, very lively crowd. And apparently, we have something installed for you guys. Because we are going to be throwing it over to our host, Widrose, as she is going to be telling you guys what's up.
Hello semua, selamat kembali. And of course, you guys are tuning in live to the first day of our MPL Malaysia playoffs. And of course, we have a code for you guys to redeem in-game. Alright guys, sekarang kita berada di match kedua untuk hari pertama playoffs kita. Mana kita tadi dah nampak KGE akan further their journey in MPL MY and Toda unfortunately has to go home. Untuk perlawanan ini, benda sama akan jadi. Satu pasukan akan continue journey esok lawan Homeboys dan satu pasukan akan say bye-bye to this playoffs. But bukan tu sahaja. Actually, we have a special guest. Ni guest yang import juga. So, we have a special guest from the Philippines. Apa kata kita tengok siapa special guest kita? Hi. Hello. Okay, so please introduce yourself and why are you in Malaysia?
Hi, I'm RSG Lexi, the Philippines manager for RSGPH. So I'm just here in Malaysia to experience how MPL Malaysia is and to of course support my boys.
Okay, so Dini, I panggil dia Ate Lexi actually because I've met her quite a few times in international tournaments. Okay, Ate Lexi, I want to ask, you said you came here to experience MPL MY. Now, I think one good question is, what's the difference with MPL MY and MPL Philippines?
I think MPL MY is much more like community based. They have this set of players, community na nagda-drums on the side. Kasi in PH, usually we have pero little lang. But compared to MY, sobrang laki ng fan base din nila. Yan.
Okay, dia cakap actually dia suka yang orang yang main drums dengan chant dekat belakang ni. Dia cakap dekat Philippines, dorang pun ada tapi dorang ada macam limit. Ada satu drum je boleh kalau untuk satu pasukan. Lepas tu tak kuat sangat. Dan dia cakap kita punya support dekat pasukan-pasukan yang tengah main tu memang on top lah. Memang dia cakap padu. So guys, korang agree tak MPL MY actually support system kita very very good? Yes. Okay, so Ate Lexi, aside from MPL, okay, let's talk about RSG. You're the manager for RSG Philippines. So, of course, you see how your boys play, you see how they train, how they communicate. And I'm pretty sure your time in MPL MY, you can see how RSG MY side does it. What's the difference actually? And what contributes to bigger success in RSG Philippines?
I think the difference is that in RSGMY, we have multicultural, so they have Filipino players also. But for PH, pure Filipino, so they speak purely Tagalog. So here, I was surprised na they can all speak in English, not pure Filipino din or pure Bahasa. Ganun.
Oh, so you think that communication is actually one of the bigger factors as well?
Yes.
And are you impressed that Vinogo and Stome can communicate easily in English and maybe potentially Bahasa Melayu?
Actually, I was surprised that they were communicating din ng English, just konting Melayu din.
Oh, maksud tu Stome dengan si Vinogo ni dah slow by slow, bit by bit tengah belajar Bahasa Melayu untuk make communications so much easier. Okay, Ate, in your opinion, now that RSGMY is not looking too safe from elimination, okay? What do you think they're actually lacking? Because RSG Philippines finished number 3 this season. So what do you think they could actually improve on from RSGMY side?
In Filipino, we say gigil. Yung gigil ba? Yung eagerness to win. Yan.
I see. So untuk orang yang tak tahu, gigil ni dia macam lebih kurang geram. Dia cakap RSG Philippines dorang geram sangat. Dorang geram nak menang. Tapi dia rasa untuk RSGMY geram tu agak kurang. Okay, so ano sa tingin mo, what do you think that the Malaysian players or the Malaysian community as a whole, ecosystem as a whole, can learn from the Philippines? Because we know that Philippines has been technically getting the championship over and over again. What's something that we lack actually?
I think in the Philippines, Filipinos are generally competitive. That's why we always want to push ourselves and reach for the top.
Okay, so maksud tu players kita kena jadi lebih competitive untuk, provide better results. Okay, Ate, before I send you off and before we enter the second game of this series, what do you want to say to the RSGMY boys up on stage right now? Because if they lose this match, it's about to be match point for Team Hawk.
For the RSG boys up there, I just want you to play with confidence and I know you can do it.
All right, maraming salamat Ate Lexi. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Apa kata, let's throw it to the casters untuk start game kedua dalam best of 5 series ni. Casters, silakan.
Thanks, Rose. And those were some quick words from the manager of RSG, PH. And I've had a conversation before. She is one of the biggest fans for RSG. You can hear her in the crowd, especially if her boys are playing.
Cool.
Yeah, I did hear her just now, unfortunately, because I would like to hear her if RSG takes game 2, though.
If they take game 2, I mean,
I kind of feel like they will. I mean,
They
like,
might. They should. Technically, it was a draft issue.
yeah, it was a draft issue because we got confirmation that Izanami has the highest average damage per minute. You don't get to that level if you're not doing something right.
I mean, how much damage per minute do you need to carry 4 other people in your team? Because so far, that's not what I'm seeing right now.
I feel the pain in your voice.
Uh-huh.
Those rank games haven't been treating you well.
Look, rank games are one thing, but seeing the rest of RSGMY play the way that they are doing right now really just comes down to is like, yes, just arm your players. We just need our players to have the right tools for the job.
It's easy, just don't die, get a few kills, and then eventually just destroy this thing called the base.
Well,
Right?
sometimes,
It's like step A, step B, step C. It's just like, what's so hard about it?
well,
Oh, man.
that's the thing, right? If everybody could be a pro player, I think that step would be the reason why they become a champion, man.
It's
I'm
like-
pretty sure there's more than that.
Honestly, it's like digging your own grave with just
What if Coach
spoons.
Ducky tells that to his players?
Dig your own grave with spoons?
Just, no. Just don't die. and then the player's like, why? Oh my goodness.
Yes, Ducky. I will not die this round.
It's like, this is the words of wisdom from my coach. Just dodge.
Dodge everything microly, huh? Not macroly, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, then like micro gameplay and macro
It's like-
gameplay doesn't exist.
If you see a Kaja coming to you,
Just
don't get ult.
The famous words of Coach Ducky when he was giving his famous words of advice. The flap easy when he was taking over the jungle position. Get good.
Yeah, just get good.
Get good. That's it. 2 words, simple one-liners. That's all we need.
We saw Sora's girlfriend just there, giving support.
Do your coolest pose. Well, he's in the suit and he's standing like that. I think that's gotta be the coolest pose so far.
He's in a suit. That's cool enough of a pose
Yeah.
for me.
Guys in suits are just different, you know. Guys in suits are just built different.
I don't know how I want to approach this. Let's not get started. Let's not get
Oh
started.
wait, you're wearing
Everyone-
a suit. You're cool.
Everyone wears suit. Average damage per minute ranking, Izanami is number 1 and Munji is number 2. Innocent is number 3. Izanami better than Innocent? Question mark.
Big question mark here. The last time we saw the average. Wait, no, that we're talking about KDA at the very
Yeah,
end
this
last
is
time.
damage per minute.
This is damage per minute. We have Moon in second place. I'm rather surprised. Oh, to be fair, he did play a lot of Novaria.
Yes,
Innocent.
yes.
We don't need it. We don't need to go there. Lima and Lolios.
Oh my goodness.
Lolios, I can kind of understand because he proactively trades, but Maima having an average DPM of that high, considering they only came like halfway through the season.
Not even halfway, like towards the third,
I think it's a little bit.
That's like a weekend difference.
like the third quarter.
Yeah,
Right. Like
Probably
like
there.
as in the 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
It might be a little bit inflated because of the overall matches that's been played, right? So now game 2, let's talk a little bit more on what adaptations need to be done
Ban
here,
Lui.
because I feel like, yeah, I agree, Loi needs to be banned. Drafts need to be a little bit better, and communications. Was there issues between communications of RG and MY?
They need to speak more Tagalog. I mean, the Filipinos keep doing it.
That's
Isn't
true.
that what Lexi said?
they're missing out the gigilness.
Yeah, you need the gigil.
I really hope we're saying
You
it
need
right.
the gigil.
We could be butchering this and be saying it
No,
entirely
gigil is in
different word.
Malay as well.
Yeah,
Right?
but Gigil in Malay is what's Gigil? Shivering?
Shivering.
Yeah, shivering.
We
in
just
Malay.
need to gigil a bit more.
Yeah, shivering with excitement.
Okay, okay.
That's as good as I could get there.
Shivering so much that you're avoiding the damage.
You gotta be quick.
Gotta
It's like
touch
the Flash.
everything. All right.
Like the Flash, you're just like shivering so much, and then you can pass through walls.
I don't like the hand
Face
gestures you're doing. I don't like that hand gesture at all. If you guys could only see it. As we are looking at the draft, Team Hawk has decided to go on blue side with RSGMY on the red side. 2 bans for each side. Third one coming in from Hawk, and it's going to be the Yuzong getting that out of there as quickly as possible. They're also banning out the Valentina as well as the Matilda. Matilda I get, but the Valentina does give indication that they want to open up Farmis.
Yeah.
I think this is a situation where they might be able to pick the chips out for themselves, right? Like RG have, MY have 2 choices.
That's a
Let the
good
chips
point.
rule, give Team Hawk the chips, and then deny the the Natan away for Team Hawk. And I feel like RGMI, do they want to take that gamble, considering that Saken has a very, very good track record with Natan, but aside from that, he hasn't had a good game so far. But nope, not taking it. Team Hawk, first pick Natan,
Or Louis.
or Lo Yi, but yeah, true. I think Lo Yi though.
Do it.
They have to. Maima has had a good game with it.
Where's Coach Wright? I want to see his like anticipation of like, you lock in Loyi now. We don't need the extra time. We got make him nervous.
You listen to me, boy. As long as Louis is up,
Yeah.
you pick it up.
You listen to me.
Don't give me lip.
Except it's just Maima telling Coach Wright. She's just like, Coach Wright, look at me, give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it. Finally lock it in. The Loyi here, the extra time
Now?
used to deliberate.
Now you can use the far side. The Yuzong has to be banned out.
It's
Let
still
the
too
draft.
early.
I feel like the draft needs to go out a little bit longer. There's other things to worry about. Grok, you know, is the the number one contender of one of the more annoying supports. Faramis. Also something to take into consideration here.
They might consider just taking the Arlott away as well, which is something that RSGMI has banned it against Iris. Again, I think it comes down to what Repo wants to deal with Iris in terms of this matchup, right? But for me personally, I feel like right now they have to deny Natan away from Saken. He's just too good on that hero.
I think just holding on to the Arlott is totally fine within the first rotation. What they pair it up, maybe a Fredrin? No.
Oh,
go for the Moskov into the Fredrin. They say, hey, you can take whatever you want. We're not even going to flex pick.
I think this is the same opening, right? Coming from RGMY from game 1?
Yes. They pick up the Fredrin and the Farsa as the second pick. So
Yeah,
now Team Hawk, they probably should... Hey, Panda! Panda's back for Team Hawk.
Post like
Okay,
your
let's
favorite hero. Alright, let's see. What's
Franco.
that? Oh, Franco. Okay. That's cool. That's so cool.
That could have been a Mintatar for like half a second there. That could have been. But now we see that Team Hawk going to be locking in the Baratzen as well as the Natan. Thoughts about the Baratzen now that they can't in-will? We say like he can't do it, but it's advised not to within the first 2 minutes of the game.
Oh, and this time RSG, they're picking up the Novaria. So the only thing that I'm worried about for RSG is just that their damage is going to be a little bit lacking when it comes to the early game. Like, they have enough to do what they need to do, but not enough to get kills. So they're kind of playing for the mid game instead of the early game. So they just have to be a little bit careful there, and then it's all good.
Yeah, I think it comes down to whether or not who is going to be the setup for RGMY and how is Novaria going to be able to contribute after this setup for
Team Hawk should ban
Moskov,
Minotaur.
right? So, yeah, I think Minotaur is pretty good shout here. But at the same time, let's talk about comforts here, right? Comforts for Storm are Grok, Arlott, Guinevere. So I think Team Hawk is just gonna shut things down with this, you know, taking with Arlott.
I don't know. I kind of feel like the Astral Echo with the Minuan Fury,
Yeah, it hurts as well. It's annoying.
it's so... The hitbox is so big.
It's so big. I'm leaning more inclined to lean into LaFell's opinion only because they got rid of the Arlott, right? If they're getting rid of the Arlott, they're thinking about like big team fight impact ultimates, and I think, you know, Minotaur also falls in that line, in that category. I would also argue Minotaur. Look, I don't know, man.
Oh my... I was talking about Team Hawk!
I don't know, man. Look, I don't put it past me. Don't put it past me. But I think that RSG wants Team Hawk to be like, hey, maybe consider banning something else. We're taking one for the team. We're taking one for, you know, us as a community. What about you now? Do they return the favor?
Why do I have a feeling that either all
Just
this
ban Grok?
team might pick the floor in this game?
I feel like Florian for RSG is a little bit wasted.
Yeah, but on
A
Team
lot
Hawk,
wasted, actually.
on this Baratz, this isn't too bad though.
I think he would have preferred Rafa in that case, right? Just
Yeah,
the
maybe a
little
Rafa.
quicker.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now RSG is pick up the Grok.
Okay.
Okay.
Would they go for a Grok?
I mean,
it's comfort.
And then Team Hawk will pick up something like a Cho. Because that's Mars hero.
Our signature, right? Yeah.
I think
Cho or Kaja, I guess.
I think it's Kaja. I think it's gonna lean more into Kaja just because of the distribution of damage here. Like the Grok expected from the side of RSG, but even if they don't get it right, are there any other things that we have to consider? Maybe EXP matchups could be a potential Paquito. Don't think it'll work that well, especially against Baratz and Loyi. Benedetta if he still plays it.
Benedetta roam, really?
No, EXP.
Okay, EXP, right, for Repo.
I would-
Paquito is still open though.
I don't know, Uranus, like, jeez.
Okay,
Oh, the Lapu, really bringing it back to the classics.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is to target the Natan, as well as having crowd control immunity will help out a lot going up against the Wu Yi. So the Lapu Lapu does make sense.
Yeah. I like what I'm seeing coming from RGMY. They're still hovering for Storm to kind of be the playmaker for this, but I feel like Team Hawk has a very, very strong opening compared to RSG, just because of the fact that, hey, we've got Barats, works well with a lot of these things, and again, like you said, Rafaela, really good. Florin is also pretty good as well for Team Hawk, if they decide to go for the Enchanter style, but Noir playing the Cho isn't too bad. But seems like they're going to go for the Ruby as a Ruby roam and is double downing on the Alpha this game. So Sustains is the way to go.
Interesting. Interesting. So they wanted somebody who could technically peel very, very well without having to sacrifice an EXP laner who gives up that control. I felt like Ruby could have done both, to be fair, but I think that the Barats is a little better in this case. Stronger wave clear, allowing Ruby to kind of roam around the map as much as she wants and do whatever she
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh,
Talking about a risky pick, man. I mean,
that's
okay.
so bold, dude.
with the Astral Echo, it's going to be easier to hit Abyssal Arrows, but woo,
Still a very high risk, high reward game.
very high risk, high reward. RSG's been taking those risks, man. Game number 1, now game number 2. I don't know, like, this is the playoffs. Whoever loses doesn't get to advance.
Yeah.
They don't. And I think this will be interesting, right? They needed something with CC. They needed something to make sure they keep Team Hawk on their toes. And I think the Selena pick kind of checks those boxes, but in a strange way. But it is time here. This is it. One of these teams are going to be moving on while the other gets left behind. It's the play-in stage here at day number 1. Let's see who's going to be on top. Is it going to be Team Hawk, or is it going to be their opponents RSG MY?
Well, it is going to be a tough one here. Again, do or die situation here. By the end of the series, one team will be eliminated and one will advance into the playoffs. In this case, Team Hawk, game 1 again, doubling down on this alpha for Janus. And interesting enough, Ira is going to be playing the Barats XP. So this is something I think Team Hawk has done it in the earlier weeks of regular season though.
Yes, they have.
I think even the later weeks, they've done this as well.
Well, I mean, they've done so pretty often, and I think a lot of it just boils down to the last time. A lot of their problems just came down to when they chose to fight, and I think a lot of those options were missed, opportunities were missed, as a matter of fact. But now they have to slow things down, right? You're not expecting too much from this squad right now, but later on, and especially if an Abyssal Arrow connects from Stoem, then that could be the difference maker.
One thing that we have to note is that Stone is originally a mid laner, and he transitioned into the roam position. So now that I think about it, it does make sense for him to use mage damage dealers even in the roam position. Looking at his emblem setup as well, Rupture for both the Selena as well as the Novaria. So the early game, there's still potential for damage.
Yeah, but at the same time as well, let's take a look at the battle spells from Hawk. They do not have a single Purify, so it's all flickers here. So if Storm gets a sick arrow, well, especially in the early stage of the game, someone's gonna die.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see about that, right? I think he's going to need 2 full combos to start one-shotting some of the squishier targets like Maimon as well as Saken. Maybe even less. Kind of depends on how far ahead he is. But like you mentioned, if they get hit by an Abyssal Arrow, there's not a lot of counterplay from the side of Team Hawk. They just have to stand their ground and tank it.
Interesting here that both mid laners are not getting the level 4 EXP by going towards the EXP. As I say that, Maimon now arrives a little bit late, but he's still going to get it.
Okay, they get those level 4 Storm. No, not going to be getting in the level 4 at all. It is a Roamer Noir. Very close to it as well. Astro Echo comes in. Divergent right in the faces of RSGMY. They secured the turtle, but RSGMY now not making a response at all. And top side, Lulio losing out the 1v1 against Saken.
Okay, to be fair, earlier he wasn't losing it, right? He was taking advantage of his level 3 before Saken hits his level 4. As soon as Saken hits level 4, he goes for the all-in against Loliels, forcing him out of lane. A little bit sad, but at the very least, Saken, he's still maintaining that control.
Storm?
He's fine.
He's fine. I like that RSG did not go for a fight there because, again, that draft is not about the early game. Even though they have a Selena, they need to scale up a little bit because the Selena doesn't need farm, but everyone else does. So if they force a fight, then it's probably going to be GG. It's going to be the same as what happened in game number 1.
Well, speaking of fights here, Janus popping it out, kind of doing a little bit of damage check on Vinogo. Vinogo backs out for now, but bottom lane though, Repo still trading 50-50s with Iris, but I don't think we are going to see a lot of action coming from this game from Team Hawk.
For RSGMY especially, because look at Repo. He's not taking any chances. He's just staying by his turret. It's like, I don't need to fight you. You're the one that needs to fight me. So RSGMY, they understand. Don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. Let it be a nothing game for the first 5 to 6 minutes of the game.
That'll be the most comforting for them. So many things need to go right. At the same time, we are seeing that at least for RSGMY, it doesn't mean that they're not going to probe for information, right? A lot of their members walking alongside No Man's Land in this river just to kind of generally figure out where the Team Hawk motions are going to be. They know he started on...
Okay. Oh! Astro Echo comes in. They're all caught. They need to get out now. RSGMY trying to salvage this here. Noir with the counterplay. I'm offended. Flickers out as well. And the Entropy also the connecting as well. But Noir, he took the arrow and Izanami missed the snipe. So Team Hawk, they will be able to get away from the aggression here as RSGMY now having a little bit more confidence with this next upcoming play.
I mean, they traded 2 flickers for 1, so inevitably RSGMY walking away the victors here in terms of raw resources.
Yeah, I completely agree. Not getting a kill there is totally fine. And now Maima is getting chunked down. Izanami as well as Stone opening up the vision so much. This is how they're countering the lead.
Arrow connects on Noir. He needs to get out. Daytona's Welcome comes in, saves the day. Repo gets chain stun with the Alpha. Instantly gets destroyed here. Lord, the turtle available. Echo connects on tree. Vinogo still deciding on how he wants to do this. Rush this or not. They don't really have a lot of work with here. RSGMY, they need to connect a lot. Maima, big damage onto Izanami. Noir trying to stall him again. Now the second out from Janus. Retro Battle comes in. Vinogo, chain stun once more. RSGMY left him to rot and die as Team Hawk fights another.
It was a good attempt, but nothing much they can really do from that point onwards. A lot of EXP ended up getting lost here, but Team Hawk's not done with this punishment just yet.
Okay, Repo now going to be going for the Chips's race. He's looking for the kill. He gets one. He clears the minion to 1v3. He'll be able to kill one, but he will lose his life as Team Hawk looking to break this tier 1 down bottom. RSGMY cannot do anything about this.
Yep, they definitely lose that tower off of that, but at least Ripple finds one. Unfortunately, he only finds Noir, the 2 main members still alive and continuing to push their lead even further. 2.4k developed. Nah.
Oh, they saw him. They saw him. My mind is get out. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. Entropy comes in for counterplay. Echo also used as well. Sakin needs to run. Now, great spam here through the wall from Maima to kind of damage check onto his RSGMY, but they're grouping out of 4. Team Hawk Noir looking for the play, but RSGMY says nope. We've shown too long. We've stayed too long. Let's back off.
It's unfortunate, but Repo has been making fundamental mistakes. Like I don't know why he overextended in the turtle fight, especially in regards to that drop. They shouldn't be fighting. So I don't know why he was in that position. And the moment he sees 3 people on his lane, and there's gonna be another minion wave coming up, I don't know. I kind of feel like it was a bad idea to go for that.
Oh, Divergent comes in. Team Hawk taking a little bit of damage here. Maima forced to back out in this situation. Meanwhile, let's talk about the levels here. Janus, level 11 as to Vinogo, 3 levels apart right now.
I mean, this is looking more and more like the previous game, right? That Team Hawk was dominating in the earlier sectors of the game, but RSGMY might be able to make a single comeback here.
Well, right now RSG, their draft is definitely geared towards the mid as well as late game, so losing by 2,000 gold hurts, but doesn't hurt that much.
Oh, Iris now. Daytona's welcome to block the arrows here. He's able to turn the tides on Vinogo. He will eventually fall, but he will take Vinogo first. No, he actually flickered out. Janus will be the ones to fall. Loleo finally finishes him off. Now here comes a stun onto Noir. Can he get out? No, he cannot. It's up to Loleo to save the day. They get 3 out of nowhere. RSGMY. As soon as you think they're out, Loleos makes it a comeback for the team once more for RSGMY.
I'm pretty sure Iris should not have recalled there.
Okay, the stop. No, the stop
again.
is Tsunami. Now
Do it
Arrow.
again.
No, he
Dead.
connected. What? Maima might be dead. Oh
He tried
no,
to give the
he
kill.
missed. He missed. Ah, so close.
Dude, no, that's so unlucky. All the good intentions wasted.
Oh boy, this is so close here. It's frustrating now. Team Hawk not going to be able to dodge the arrow with the Daytona's welcome. This time they will respect RSGMY. Loleo starting to pop off a little too much. RSGMY now securing turtle for the team.
That's a Demon Hunter sword purchase coming in from Loliels. That Trinity build is coming on quickly, a lot sooner than expected. Whether or not Sakin can actually handle that damage, completely different question. But here comes the diversion in case somebody shows up.
Okay.
Oh, Lolia's there. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know who's there.
Oh my god.
Oh, Lolios. Okay,
missed.
here he comes.
Oh.
Papa comes in. Sakin able to get out. Doesn't have to purify, but again, very, very close calls coming in. Vinogo also looking to try and intercept this arrow. Okay.
Oh man, Sakin.
Okay.
Man, Maima ended up missing the yin yang reaction. Had that connected onto Loliels, I think he would have died there for sure. 78 more seconds until the next upcoming Lord gets spawned. But for the most part, the map seems pretty much in RSGMY's control. I mean, a lot of missing tier 1s from the side of Team Hawk, but it's slowly leaning back into RSGMY's favor.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, looking at the items here, Enchanted Talisman for both the Selena as well as the Novaria, making sure that they can spam a lot of skills. This is how they're controlling the map, really, by knowing information without really being there. The map is never dark for RSGMY, so that's why the Louis is a little bit not as
the
effective.
arrow connecting on the top side. Noir needs to make a run for it as well. Nogo needs the taunt. Can he get it? No. He's not going to commit. Great setups coming from Leos, but unfortunately needs to back off. But Noir, you're recalling right in front of bases here. Might be in trouble. Izanami? Is he going to go for a snipe? No, he is not. So he is going to disengage. RSGMY in the driver's seat now, which I'm really surprised with just one play. Now they're going to be the aggressors here.
Well, there's a number of things we need to see from RSGMY. Number one, how exactly do they develop their lead? That's number one. Number two is whether or not they're able to close out the game a lot better than Team Hawk, because Team Hawk, they waited for such a long time before they found the ample opportunity to close it out.
RSGMY, they're playing Division very, very well. Like, we were questioning on the Selena pick, but not only are the arrows hitting, but the missile trap is giving them valuable information. Something that Team Hawk did in game number one is that they have a lot of surprise elements. RSGMY did not see the engage coming, but now they see it coming from a mile away. And Team Hawk, they're having a difficult time actually moving forward, because every single time they're moving forward, they're getting poked out quite a lot. So the front line of RSGMY is actually having a better time because they're having a lot of backup coming in from their roamer as well as
Oh
mid.
wait, back lines here. Lolios, he makes an attempt on Sakin here. He's gonna get caught out. He might be bursted down, but eventually stopped by Iris here. Lolios finally gets found by Maima to get the kill. But again, it's only 1-for-1. They're dropping down very low. Repo and Vinogo trying to force a fight, but Iris at the last moment flickers out of there. And RSGMY, they lose Lolios for absolutely nothing. Oh no, Maima. Divergent. He's out. He's safe. Oh wait, he doesn't have a Divergent. He's gonna try and go for a 1v1. He's all by himself. Finally pops it. Here comes the arrow. He might die before he gets out. Storm with the snipe. RSGMI finds a play. Now Noir as well. I'm offended. Catches Repo. Needs to get out. Astro Echo comes there. But the Lord is still healthy. Do they want to force a fight? Loleo with the spear. Now the arrow as well. Can they get out? Yes, they can. Lord dropping down half HP. Team Hawk. They're looking for the jump. How do they do this?
They're not finding these angles just yet. RSG, they can't just take this freely.
Oh no. They have to wait for this juggle. Arrow comes in, connects on one. Vinogo, two-man taunt. Where's the follow-up? They get the snipe. They're so low. Oppressive Drop comes in. Repo goes in for the dive. They get one. And now Team Hawk, they lost two. Both the tanky heroes. And now Janus, so low, the jungler. As Team Hawk cannot do this 3v5, but Nogo still has the retribution. Divergent comes in, but it's not going to do him any good. RSGMI finds the big pick.
These pokes have been extremely effective. Izanami just slowly chunking them down while these fights have been dragged out longer than it should be.
Arrow, wait, what? Lolio's one. He's gonna try for it as well. He's taking a little bit too much damage, but Arrow connects on Saken. He made a mistake. He thought he could one-shot Lolio's, and he is gonna get killed for his greed. The bait and push effect.
Couldn't get worse than that, right? Couldn't get worse. Couldn't get worse. I mean, the whole team decides not to take Purifier, and I think now, at least for Saken, might regret it just a little bit.
Well, at this point, it's a little bit too late, right? The lead coming in from RSGMY isn't that huge, but the way that they're using this lead is huge. Iris now has the Radiant Armor, so he can tank it a little bit. But the thing is, the damage dealt ranking right now, Izanami is at the top of the rankings. No wonder he is highest average damage per minute, but Loliel is keep catching up. So the moment Team Hawk is able to deal with all the magic damage coming in from RGMY, that's where Loliel gets even more dangerous. Even if Loliel is putting himself in quite a bad position, he just out-damages them and then out-heals them as well.
I think what we've been failing to see as well is Noir finding like that huge engage, the big 4-man I'm offended.
Yeah, agreed. But now with the Echo coming in, Team Hawk, they have to make a play. Janna's gonna be going for the shove. Lolio takes half HP,
no.
but now here he comes again. Arrow stun. He might die to the arrow here, but he actually survives. But at the same time, Venogo getting caught up by Daytona's Welcome here. He's gonna get fleed out. They lose an inhibitor, but Team Hawk is able to defend. They're making a run here. Divergence gets them all towards the back lines, but RSGMY is running the rather direction. Not the direction that they were looking for Team Hawk, but they will need to reset this fight.
Good call coming in from RSGMY, making sure that they're able to escape cleanly, not having to lose any more members than absolutely necessary. I do think that Team Hawk, their on-the-fly decision-making has been much better than RSGMY, but at the same time, it's really starting to look like, man, maybe we should have set up a little bit better. Maybe the draft could have been done in a particularly different way, because they're starting to realize that they have no real means of like catching RCMY off guard. Maybe with like a conceal they could do it, but even then, I feel like they'll get spotted out before it even happens.
Right now, the problem that Team Hawk is having is that before the fight even starts, they're chunked down way low. And this is the difference when you have a healer and when you don't. Right? You can't out-sustain the amount of damage that RGMY is slowly poking at you. But the thing is, the moment Team Hawk gets a good dive in, then it's all over. So this is a clash of styles. One, where you want to take it slow and you just want to chump them down one by one.
Deals with the stun, set up into Janus. Oh, right at the pixel, he's able to get out, but now Daytona's Welcome from Iris. He's getting mowed down by Lolios. He needs to run for his life. You can see Repo trying to chase him as well. The Astro Echo connects as well. Iris might fall, but the back lines. Saken tried to make a play. He blunders. They lose 3 as Lolios is able to make it happen for RSGMY. They bounce back with this draft. They're trying to clear the minions, but it's too low. Lolios waiting the next set of creep waves. Maima is going to try and buy time, but it doesn't matter. RSGMY takes this to game 3.
Evening out the score to 1-1. It's RSGMY. GG well played as they take this game over, tie up this series, and now both teams back to the drawing board.
Well, right now, RGMY just revealed a huge secret. Stone can use the Selena. So now, it adds another flavor for Team Hawk. It's like, they're the ones that's supposed to be coming up with this unorthodox picks. But now RG is like, we got some for ourselves as well. We have tricks up our sleeve. Now you got to figure this out. Maybe Selena's the last thing that we have. Maybe we have something else.
Man, that is just such a game here. So much patience coming from RSGMY, but who would have thought Storm, with the amount of vision and the amount of chance and tries he's made with those arrows, has been really, really on point. But at the same time here, guess what? Instead of relying on Storm, trust in Lolio to set up the play. If he's stuck to the wall, an arrow comes in, a star shot comes in, and an astral recall comes in, boom, someone's gonna die.
Someone gets blown up pretty quickly here. I think, I definitely underestimated the raw amount of damage this mid to late game comp was able to provide, especially when they're poking down like key targets as well. Really didn't expect that level of damage to come out. I do think that they might have to adjust slightly for the upcoming game, but we'll talk about this right after we announce our MVP. Let's hop on over backstage and have a look of our MVP of this game.
And it looks like it's going over to Stone. Always hitting those shots where it's just like, You're in my target, buddy. When you're in my range, I'm going to take you down.
He's looking for those headshots every single time. Storm comes up big as our MVP of the game. 2-0-9. Not only utilizing the recon and vision provided by the Abyssal Traps, but making sure that those arrows is always going to be a lethal threat. Even when they get flanked, you can see those Abyssal arrows get thrown backwards to try and slow him down.
Yeah, and on top of it all, his arrows is weird to see how a Selena has finally gotten a little bit love here at the playoffs. We haven't seen it too much here. And for Stone to make this work for the team, I think for a roamer and not dying a single time and setting up plays for the team, I think this is the best you can ask for RGMI.
More so that if they wanted a team fight, it had to be just poking down your opponents first before getting back in. You cannot miss that step. You need some kind of advantage. If not, you're just gonna get gobbled away, right? Just chain CC, like we see many of these fights actually occur for Team Hawk.
Well, right now we're going to look at itemization here. And the thing is, this is a Selena with some damage items, right? The Enchanted Talisman is very key to make sure that always being able to throw out those Abyssal Traps. But once the Starlium Scythe comes in, it makes it a lot safer for Stone to actually go in, try to get a little bit of damage because there's still some Spell Vamp there. So he's safe even when he's very close to the opponents. The same can be said with his Blood Wings. And I got to say, Loliel, he's one of those guys that does not care about his KDA. He died 3 times when his mid laner as well as the roamer doesn't die once, but Loliel still consistently deals out the damage. Because I kind of feel like Sora just talked to him and was like, you know what? I know you can't help it. I know you just want to die every once in a while, but at least deal some damage.
You know?
And he dealt a lot of damage.
Well, let's hold up on the a lot of damage part first. We'll see. We'll see
I
right
can see-
here. All right, Zipper,
Not
pull it
number
up.
one. Not number one, but maybe even a number 2 in RG.
I'll take number 2. I'll take
Okay.
number 2. Let's see where he is.
What?
Number
2, right on
two. Number
the
2
mark.
overall.
Number 2 overall. Like, he was doing some good damage, right? I think that his laning phase against Saken, he's starting to pick up on some of the behaviors, but more so, he's realizing that maybe Team Hawk is a little slow on the ball, especially, like, there was a couple of times he threw the Spirit of Destruction. The Shadow was getting countered by, like, what, 2, sometimes 3 people from the side of Team Hawk, and yet they still didn't catch him. So I would have expected Noir to be able to lock him down at some point of time.
I think it came down to a situation where it was a little bit of a misplay, right? RSG's game plan was very simple. You know, if I hit an arrow, if you can hit a star recall, great. We are going to try and go for the combo here. But if you don't, it is all about being patient, trying again. And Team Hawk, technically, they have a lot of opportunities to actually make a counterplay, but it came down to whether or not Maima is able to like get that big diversion to the back lines most of the time.
I think he definitely found a couple of those, right?
But not all the time.
Not all the time. Not all the time for sure. But you can see the idea that's coming out from Team Hawk. It's like, oh no, if our backline is getting zoned super far away, let's just chill for a second. I'll send us back into the enemy flank. We conceal. We might be able to get access to some of the squishier targets like Izanami or even Stoem.
Total damage taken. Loliel took 37,000 damage. That's
Yeah.
quite a lot.
Or-
I mean, when your roamer only took 15,000, you're taking more than double.
Well, technically this is like a double support mages coming from RGMI. He had to be the ones to start the player, so I kind of see where you're getting at. But at the
That
same
one
time,
Loliel's is worth 2 Stoems at that point.
well, at this stage, he's pretty much that the guy, right? He's got the mobility to do it. But again, I feel like Team Hawk's issue has always been just one thing that just destroys this entire conversation with RGMI. Just get a purified, job's done.
Is it though?
I feel like
Is it?
it might not necessarily be the answer because they got poked out a lot from Izanami. Like that's why he's the highest DPS of this game. He is just chunking people out without somebody who can actively top you up. And especially since we didn't see Noir pop off hard enough on this Ruby, I think I would have preferred to see him on something like a Rafaela just to kind of get around the map a little bit faster and keep yourself topped up.
I mean, this is the advantage, I guess, the RG has, the second pick, is that they can hide the Selena. Because the thing is, the reason why Noir is not successful, no one is really in his range, right? The moment that RG is close enough is because RG wants to get in. It's not that Noir forces them to come in. Because Vidogo doesn't have to get close. Rippo doesn't have to get close. Same with Loliel. Heck, Lolia's just like, you know what? It's taking so long for you to get me. I'm gonna come to you myself.
I'm gonna walk menacing to you. No, not the other way around. I can see that happening. I think the only person that Noir can actually hit is technically Vinogo and Ripple when he's not in that ult form.
Yeah, and seeing how this is happening as well, I feel like RGMY, they do have a situation where they have strong front lines, but again, these two front lines don't necessarily need to start a fight. It all comes down to whether or not Storm is able to open up the map here. Izanami opening up the map is a very, very good indicator here, and I think I agree with what Gideon said. A Rafaela would have been a little bit better for Noir because of the, like, I like how RGMY is taking advantage of the Astro Echo to just get information and also slow down Team Hawk in order for either Storm to set up for shots or even Izanami to set up for shots, or even to a certain degree, because of those hitbox animation increases, makes it a little bit easier for Lolios to slam someone to the wall.
Yep. Those are all the things that need to be taken into account, especially if you're going to be playing around that Novaria, right? Got to figure out a way to get those hitboxes to matter. Now, the rich guy, the carry sandbag, as well as the big man is going to be Lolios, Izanami, Iris, and as well as Stoa. No surprises here, but I definitely think that the EXP laners have been pretty inactive, I would say, to a certain degree. Like, once mid to late game starts to come by, that's where we get to see, like, both Iris and as well as Ripple taking a huge step back.
I mean, like, to be fair, this draft coming in from RG is very uninteractive, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw my skills at you, and it's your responsibility to back off. It's your responsibility to dodge all of it. We can look at the first 7 minutes, it's all Team Hawk, but the thing is, it's not because Team Hawk has overwhelming pressure on the map. It's just that they have a lot of frontliners, so they're moving forward, they're getting a lot of these objectives, especially the turtles, because with RG's draft, they don't have a tanky roamer. They can't really have priority when it comes to the turtle's position. But transitioning into the Lord phase, that's where RSG's draft starts to shine, because you can poke your opponents, and the poking is so good in the Lord dance where you're just not going to have value staying here for a very long time.
Worse yet is that when you have the items to actually make the damage stick, I think that's when Team Hawk realized that, man, this is quite the pain. We walk up, we ended up losing the very first turtle after the 7-minute mark, and then it just snowballs out of control up till the 11th minute where they find a little bit, just a wee bit back with the help of a quick flicker of their own. Even so, I still think that when we look at the match highlights, it becomes very obvious that they just couldn't maintain that level of pressure because they're so dependent on their ultimates, right? When their ultimates are down, that's when they have to start backing off, and I don't think Janus found enough of a snowball to be able to, like, 1v2, 1v3 even.
The question is now, what else does Storm have? Because I feel like Team Hawk will... I wouldn't necessarily say they will ban it out, but they're going to start anticipating it. And then they will figure out a different way to deal with this, which one of the ways is healing, right? Very simple. You keep attacking me, I'm going to heal, and then I'll just make everything that you did mute.
Yeah, and even in this play as well, like the moment Lolios get taken out of the equation, things kind of get a little bit of mistakes here. But again, Team Hawk, they try to out-micro RSGMY a lot of these times, and you have to give credit towards Stoll because he's playing out of his mind, because in the midst of all this chaos, he's able to find like really, really sick arrows here. And I think, yeah, this was the one mistake. Like, it was literally one small mistake by Saken, because if the arrow did not connect on him, Lolios might have died to Saken just then and there.
Oh, he would have 100% died there, in a matter of fact. He was like, what, pretty much, yeah, he's getting his Holy Crystal now. That means he was already three items ready to go. Oh, sorry, 2 items at the very least. But for the most part, I think that, if anything, Team Hawk, they need to get Lolios off of this Moskov. I think this is starting to become a little bit of a problem, right? As much as we want to believe that Saken is doing well in lane, he can be doing even better.
Yeah, the problem is if you take out the Moskov, then some other picks will be online. Maybe maybe a Harif, or maybe they just priority take the Natan themselves.
I suppose so.
If they really want to win, force Lolia on a quad.
Force Lolios
He
on a
does
quad?
not win on a quad.
I think, yeah, forcing him on the Roger as well isn't too bad, considering the fact that Roger has been kind of nerf-ish as well. So I think that's something that they may consider taking into equation. But again, I feel like this past 2 series has always been like just prioritizing on Moskov here. We talked about gold laner being a priority as well as Lo Yi, but some has worked out, some has not really worked out. But what I do know is I'm feeling a little bit tired and a little bit annoyed here, you know, I would keep myself energized.
How?
Oh,
How
I
would you-
need it,
Oh,
man,
how would you
Yeah,
do
I
it?
definitely need it here because we are going to be having some Nescafe here, and you can grind on and get yourself a Nescafe, especially with their aromatic aroma Arabica beats. How do you pronounce that?
Arabica beans.
Arabica beats. Yeah,
I would tell you more about that, honestly, but unfortunately, we've got Picasso and as well as a lot more other paintings. That too. Pedro is also a part of that. I tell you
Pedro.
more about it, but overall, they need to keep grinding on because at this stage of the game, right, it's up to anybody to be able to close out this series. First to 3 wins here between RSG MY as well as Team Hawk. But let's have a bit of a look. Wow! They just cut him off.
Wow! Bro! Wow!
Pick it.
Oh! Oh!
He was not happy with the option, but none of his friends are happy with his choice. and then they cut back to the PM side. That's funny. That is funny.
I want to hear what you say.
What is he saying here?
Oh.
Okay. No wonder it's showing on the WhatsApp here. So apparently Adin has a WhatsApp message right here. As you can see, how do you see the matchup between RG and Hawk? I'm expecting Team Hawk to do more versatile in their drafting. They showed they can play the Sylvana jungle before, and RG should rely on their comfort picks to win. And so far, do you agree with what's happening so far?
Do I agree with it?
I mean,
In
like
what
what
way?
Adin said about this, because I don't think Team Hawk is versatile, and I feel like they're drafting comfort, and RSG is getting extremely versatile.
Just you
Okay.
wait until Janice locks in that Sylvana jungle. That's when you're gonna regret it. What are you gonna? What are you gonna do? Storm gonna go? You're gonna go lock in Selena again? That's when he's gonna get it. That's when he's gonna get it. Good-looking players as well. Man, they are proactive here with our live audience, making sure that everybody is still in it to win it as much as these players. With 30 seconds left on the clock, prayers are going to be said before we start heading into the draft.
Oh boy, this is going to be a very, very interesting game here coming from both sides. Let's see how the draft goes in as well. We're heading into game number 3. And of course, we have Benedetta going to be showing off some very, very cool lights and animations to head into the draft, because I'm genuinely curious, how are they going to prioritize here? Do they start banning off Storm heroes, or do they just start focusing on low Leos coming for Team Hawk? Or it is going to be vice versa, because Team RSG, would you say that they won it by a fluke, or was it skill for game 2?
Definitely think it was skill.
100% skill.
Yeah, it's not easy landing those skill shots time and time again, to be hyper aware of the map, especially with Lo Yi in play. But because at least for now, at least RSG have kind of fixed that problem and are now thinking about the possible angles that Maima could teleport this team to.
I like that the Fredrin is banned here. It opens up quite a lot. Like, if Team Hawk bans out the Moskov, RSG can pick up the Natan. And then it's on Team Hawk to counter the Natan. Right? Because I kind of feel like RSG is looking at this and be like, there's no way they're going to let the Moskov go, right? There's no way.
I
There's
think
no way.
they should. But at the same time, if they let that through here, Matilda is going to be... sorry, not Matilda. Barat is going to be a priority here coming from RGMY. Because I think Vinogo... Like, this is interesting to see that they are banning Fredrin, because Vinogo has been playing these 2 games in a row. And I don't think it's a good matchup against the Alpha.
Oh, Novaria first pick. This is
Okay.
interesting.
Why switch it now? Why switch it now? I guess they know that at the very least. I think I'm on the suspicion that RSG have figured out that for Socket, he prefers those backline marksmen that don't require like an extreme level of mechanics, right? Because even if we're comparing Claude to Moskov to even Roger, I would say Claude is the easiest to play out of the 3, but no, Moskov gets locked in.
This could be good, this could be bad. Because sometimes you're respecting the opponent's pick so much that you're going to take it for yourself, but we don't know how Socket is on this Moskov pick. It could be good, it could be abysmal.
They don't go for the Barat here. They actually bring in the Baxia instead, as well as the Roger. So I guess we're going back towards a little bit of old school here, but considering that Yujong was banned first phase in the previous game, this time Team Hawk, they're bringing it as a priority for them. Personally, I feel like Maima, does he want to double down on the Lo Yi again here? Because 2 games Lo Yi, first game was a hit, second game, I think it was a little bit of a miss here because his divergent was a little bit off the mark a couple of times as well. So does he want to stick with it or just go for something else?
I think I see what RSG is doing.
What are they doing?
They're showing the Novaria, making it so that
It might be a roam.
no, making it so that Team Hot thinks that the Selena roam is gonna come up again. So they're forcing Team Hot to ban it away. But the moment Team Hot ban it away, they can pick up something like a Minotaur. And the Astral Echo plus the Minotaur is very strong. And if they ban both of them, he can pick up something like an Arlet. So having this Novaria kinda enhances the abilities of Stone. So that their options are just huge.
Their options, I agree with you up to a certain point. I do think that from RSG's perspective, well, first off, locking in the Edith pick so early on just goes to show that they want to play for some kind of peel or some form of dive. Either or. It doesn't really cater to either side. But I think that it's a little early to lock in that Edith. I definitely think they should have paired it up or at least denied some of these other picks. Minotaur, for an example, they end up banning up. They could have picked it up for themselves. Farmis was the big indicator for me whether or not this Valentina was even worth considering.
Yeah, I think for Armis is definitely something that they may consider, considering that they've showed like double mages coming in the second game. So, okay, RGMY, they ban it themselves. So, I think Team Hawk. So, if they're going to dive... Oh, okay, they banned the Selena. So, this is going to be opening up the pool a little bit here, coming from both sides.
I mean, I said it, so...
Nothing too surprising here. No options of flex picks for either side. I mean, you might as well ban Loyi at this point, right?
Yeah, force him to play something else here, considering that Maima has been leading on the Novaria as a priority. So these are the two heroes that Maima has been showing as well, right? So I think for him to go back into Zafarsa isn't too bad, considering that Yu Jong is already in his favor. So it forces RSG to actually dive into him.
True. Farsa's not bad. Artillery mages in general don't seem too bad for the side of Team Hawk. We don't see like strong divers just yet from the side of RSG. It's looking more like they just want to poke people out. Maybe they'll have some team fight enablers to abuse the extra hitboxes. I'm being... I might not necessarily agree with that angle, right? I feel like Team Hawk, there's two ways that they can play this. Either they have one person that zones and everybody plays as 4, or they have a team that's designed around diving at your opponent. Either or... Oh, Yeve.
Okay, I see where this is going as well. Yeah, we're talking about burst, right? So now let's talk a little bit more on poke potential. Like, you've got Edith with the Primaraph, a lot of poke potential. Eve as well doing a lot of poke potential here. But ideally, what I think Team Hawk wants to do is to force RSG to commit into the fights, where this Yi is going to be able to punish both the Baxia as well as maybe find a way to kind of slow down Roger's over-aggression.
I was thinking like maybe Lilia could have been that answer, but I suppose that Yeve does similar things in the sense that it kind of gives a clear indication of when Team Hawk should actually engage and look for these fights. Well, on the other hand, the latter half probably wouldn't be enough. You see RSG locking in the Rafaela and as well as the Terizla.
So a lot of engaged potential coming in from RSG, especially having the Astral Echo is going to make it so much easier, right? The Terizla penalty zone as well as the Rafaela ult, they can indeed hit on everyone, especially because Eve is a very stationary target. It's not difficult for RSG to engage on this one.
Yeah.
So this time, RSG can be the aggressors.
You know, even though I feel like Team Hawk has like the quote-unquote meta-ish draft, based on what I'm seeing here, I actually kind of like RSG's draft a little bit more.
Did Rafaela really change your mind there? Or was that the one pick that made it all different?
Oh,
wow.
okay, wait.
Fanny.
Now I'm having second thoughts.
Grant. This man back down so quick. Gun to his head. Which composition are you guys liking more, boys?
Oh my god. Janice Fanny. We've forgotten about it for so long.
Hey, it's been a while. It has been a while. I think both comps definitely have their ups and downs. I'm a little undecided on this. I think both have their strengths.
Assassins haven't been doing well.
But it's Janice Assassin.
Still. I feel like if Janice does not get a win here, it solidifies it.
Yep, it definitely will. How does Fanny get ahead? I'm trying to figure it out, right? I think Fanny gets ahead by looking for some of the squishier targets, obviously, but in Rafaela might be a little bit tough because she's going to be sticking around mid or maybe even gold side. But it's time. Let's jump right into this game here. Game match number 2. Game number 3. The current score tied up 1-1 between Hawk as well as RSGMY as we load into the Land of Dawn.
Well. Let's see how this duke it out here because both drafts seems have their own individual win conditions. And so far, I am liking both sides. And because of this Fanny pick here, I don't know. Do I like RSGMY's draft now? I like the idea, but with the Fanny, seems a little bit hard now to pull this off.
Well, I mean, this is... unfortunately, we can't get the supports in the mix here. Because that just means it's purely an assassin versus tank matchup, right? These invades are going to be very lonely for Janus. I don't think he's going to have like a lot of people to help him out, considering that both side lanes are going to get shoved in by Terizla as well as the Roger.
I feel like if any draft, this is a draft that Fanny can shine. You can go to the gold lane, you can go to the mid, and you can do relatively well. Especially because the first 2 minutes, the Baxia's original power spike is not going to be there just because you can't really invade against Fanny. Like the moment you invade, the Fanny can catch up to you and the Fanny can do a lot of damage. So this is a little bit awkward coming in from RSGMY, but I feel like they can sustain it.
Well, Flicker stun comes in. Iris also connecting as well. Repo taking a little bit too much damage. 1 HP, but no go. Looking for the counterplay, forces the retreat. Noir might actually fall eventually. First blood in the hands of Izanami for RSGMY. Where's the Fanny? I don't see him. Fanny nowhere to be found. Okay.
I had to recall. Nothing to take for the time being, but at the very least, they were still able, well, at least for RSGMY, they're still able to find one. For the most part, Team Hawk have to be a little bit more careful finding these engages. They need to move as a team. Olios and Saken going back and forth again, both not finding enough to create an advantage in lane.
I would say in the gold lane, at least for today, is going to be a stalemate where both are definitely trading, but not enough for anyone to go all in. And I feel like it's good because both gold laners are showing adequate respect to each other while still trying to be a little bit disrespectful.
Oh, now Astro Echo already revealing Noir and Maima. Do they want to commit to this? Black Dragon comes in. Real World Relation as well. No go secures it. Now here comes the spear. Does the Moskov want to join? Repo gets the trade on towards Noir. Janus also with the Fanny get completely shut down. Iris is somehow able to fight for the team. They trade 2 for 2, but seems like it was a very scuffed fight from both sides.
That could have been so much better for Team Hawk when Janus got caught mid-cable by the penalty zone, locking him in place and unable to land another cable to get on out of there as he gets continuously pulled back by these chains. That's got to be frustrating for the side of Team Hawk. That could have been like a game-changing fight for Janus.
But that does show what... Okay, that basically shows that this Fanny, even though quote-unquote there's no catching abilities coming in from RSGMY, the Fanny can't fly around freely. There's a chance that Repo can catch him, and I kind of feel like there's a chance that even Vinogo can catch him.
Just wait until Storm catches him like mid-cable with the Holy Baptism. That'd be crazy if we could time that. But I think for the most part, yeah, it goes to show how thick this wall actually is, even though it doesn't have the natural barbed wires, but it's got some kind of fencing. Janus has to be careful every time he hops over it. Hopefully he doesn't get scratched or, worse yet, end up dead.
Well, speaking of which here, I was a little bit skeptical of this, but as of now, RSGMY, you have to give props towards Repo though. Like that penalty zone catch, not an easy thing to do, but again, mistakes sometimes were made, and it comes down to Team Hawk on how they want to play around the mistake and make a comeback out of this.
24 more seconds until we get to actually see that happen.
Ooh, okay, very greedy. Here comes the cable. They're waiting for the snipe. Janus gets them down to the very, very low, but they needed a finisher. Team Hawk now showing strong why Janus is so disgustingly good on this Fanny.
But Janus is running out of time. If they get the Blood Wings, it's going to be a little bit difficult for the Fanny to get a kill. Or if they don't want to go for the Blood Wings, just build a Dreadnought armor.
Yeah.
That should be more than enough here. This Lord Dance going to be non-existent. We'll see whether Janus can steal this away.
Oh, coming in as well. Vinogo get the Retribution fight. Black Dragon comes in to zone the backlines. Robo elimination from Maima. Doing a lot of work trying to slow down Vinogo. They will trade one, but Janus, what are you doing? He's going for the Petra from Iris to save the day. He goes for the wall spam, but Repo once again catches the Fanny, turns the tides. As RSGMY, they trade 3 for 2. As RSGMY, they win the turtle trade and they still win the fight.
Okay, now I see it. if the Fanny gets caught by the Astral Echo, you can't run away.
You can't run away.
Yeah, because Vinogo, I saw she was trying to cable out, got stopped by Vinogo. Right? He got the stun off and then tried to run again, and then Rippo hit with the penalty zone. If that keeps on happening, Janus should stop trying to fight for the neutral objectives, because once he gets caught by the Astral Echo, he's gonna get caught, period.
It looks like his job just got even harder with the new interaction to keep in mind for these next fights. But RSG, after that cleanup from Rippo, they're not going to make this purple buff easy pickings.
Well, Astro Echo comes in. Janus still trying to go in for the bait, but no go. Trying to
tagged.
hold him off, and look at him. Penalty's
gone.
down! What? How? He catches 3. They find 1 to get the purple buff as well. No, actually they secured it for Janus. But still, losing a life for this year. They need more out of Janus for this fight. RGMY will be taking the tier 1 in the middle, and they will get it as well. Team Hawk seems like they may have got the early first game. Now, getting shoved back in, and RSGMY looking for the comeback. Nope, no purple buff for Janus.
Looks like Rippo was able to secure it before Janus did. Janus does at least have his orange buff on that top side to be able to be claimed as his own. But for the most part, damage has been taken, and now 1.8k lead for the side of RSGMY. We're getting a bit of a turnaround. Last time we expected Team Hawk to be dominating early, but now different story.
I mean, just dodge the Astral Echoes. I mean, we saw that insane penalty zone. But we got to think about Rippo's POV. That's probably one of the easier things that he could do.
Oh, speaking of fights here, Astro Echo comes in. Holy Baptist as well catches on Noir. They get the steal on the turtle. Black Dragon coming in to try and save Noir's life. They will lose 1, but the penalty zone for Rippo. Catches Maima. Purifies out of there. Iris trying to make something work as well. Leos going for the shove. But fortunately for them, they are able to salvage the situation, only losing 1. But while this is all happening here, bottom lane, Sake got a free lane, shoves the tier 1 down bottom as well for Team Hawk.
He's just trying to find any gold on the map for himself, right? There's not too many places they can actually farm freely. So I think it's the smart idea from Sake.
Oh, here he comes. Sake win. He came up. He's going to force the fight. Well, real manipulation here. Forces on the slow here. But Sake is taking too much. He needs to get out. Can they get out, though? They're so slow. The Astro Echo comes in, but RGMY, they back out. They don't want to commit at all. Oh, the snipes. Noir. Ooh, so close. So close.
I mean, it really just goes to show the damage difference right now between RSGMY and Team Hawk. Team Hawk in no position just yet. Not enough of a snowball to get them going. Not enough gas in the tank. Let's look at the gold difference as well, and it looks like between Socket and Lolios, they're honestly not too far apart.
Yeah, the only real difference here is in the EXP lane, where Rippo has 5,000 and Iris is trying to get up to 4. Janus goes up against Lolios.
Didn't get the Lycan Pounce off in time. I'm not even sure whether the Lycan Pounce would kill him there. I don't think so. You'd probably be left with like 1 HP or 2% of his HP. For the most part, at least it just tells Janus, here's a line in the sand, do not cross it.
Yeah, but again, I don't think the Lycan Pounce would have killed. If he had a Blade of Despair, maybe debatable, but I don't think you go Blade of Despair on Roger anymore.
Depends on the build. Depends on the build you're going for.
Okay, Echo, Holy Baptism, whiffing the mark, but somehow Sakan takes a lot of damage here just from 1 first kill coming from Izanami. So Sakan, he needs to be a little bit mindful here on where the position of Izanami, because I'm pretty sure Izanami is looking to try to take him down low for Lolios to kind of finish him off.
What is this lane setup? They went down to bottom side, realized that, hold on, Sakan should live this.
AI winning prediction is going over to Team Hawk. That's very interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, well, not only that, right? Just the weird setup from RSGMY, the way that the fact that they didn't recognize that bot side was already a slow pushing lane.
Yep, RSGMY going
my goodness.
Stuck in how? Goes in for the steer, they force the fight, they lose the war, but Janus now going for the collapse. RSGMY. Seems like they're trying to hold on. Iris almost losing his life, but here comes the snipe. Nice sidestep from Iris to dodge the bullet, but what a catch from Saken. What a catch.
I would give props to Noir. He knocked up everyone.
He did knock up everyone. Vinogo could not get
He
the
could not.
retry off.
He still has his retry. That's how long the knockup was.
I can't believe that he got
That
away
needs a
with
replay.
That needs a replay. And can we also get the AI winning prediction while we're...
Yeah, that AI reading predictions kind of
Saw the
predicted it.
future.
Saw the future.
It does. It's doing its job. And so far, like, Saken is in a pretty good spot. I think he's about to get the Trinity build all the way complete. I'm pretty sure that he already has it. But now all the outer tier turrets are falling.
Well, now Astro Echo comes in, but not going to scout anyone here. Janus looking for a couple of picks, trying to bait out the penalty zone. But Lolios now having the purple buff up on him, so that's a little bit of interesting here. But tier 1 will fall for Team Hawk. Hey, sorry, RGMY will lose the tier 1 out middle. And Team Hawk going to continue to assault. Lord crashing on the bottom side now. I don't know, what's the game plan for RGMY?
I think at this point, their game plan is just to respond. Respond to how Team Hawk want to move across the map. Because at this point, so far, all their engagements have been on isolated targets like Noir. But as soon as they get that ult off, right, they can just focus on the poking.
Yep, now speaking of poking here, Black Dragon, Iris, two-man petrify. Saken looking for the fight. He comes in, he brings Lolio back with him, but the penalty zone catch by Rippo takes him down. Janus also falling with the mistakes coming in for Team Hawk. What a catch from Rippo. The snipes almost connecting. They lose 3. RSGMY has got the perfect wombo combo right now.
Well, you called it. Just respond to what Team Hawk wants to do. And that response was crazy good. And now Maima trying to protect the base. Izanami trying to dish out as much damage as he can. This is a mid 1v1, and Iris just there's like, hey guys, I'm still here.
Guys, I'm alive. Guys, please don't leave me. Oh, man. Let's look at the in-game equipment. Maybe we can get a better idea of where they're currently at. 3 items to 3 for both goal laners. Supports currently at 1.5 each. Actually, 2 in favor of Storm, but then again, he has a cheaper item to purchase. Finally, in mid laners, 2 for 2 in terms of full items. Overall, nothing notable yet, other than Rippo just being significantly ahead, full tank build.
Oh yeah, significantly ahead. And the thing is, Team Hawk, they made some micro mistakes in the previous fight. Namely, Janus didn't hit the steel cable, making it so that he couldn't run away and gets bursted down. But now we see that Rippo is full tank item, but when he hits that penalty zone, it hurts a lot, much more than you would expect.
You're not gonna lie, he's 7-1 and 5 on this tank Terizla, by the way. It's crazy. He's been hitting up so many shots, and seeing how this is happening here. Once again, Noir baits out the Primal Wrath. Janus looking for the flag, but he needs to know where Rippo is, and so far, Rippo showing himself up top means that they have the confidence to push up forward. And Rippo might be in trouble here. Saken, oh, okay, he didn't flicker forward.
Hey, man,
I feel like at this point, Saken should be afraid of Rippo.
Yeah, Saken was the one freaking out here. He's just like, okay,
oh my god.
Like, does he know or does he not know? I'd rather not risk it.
I thought he was gonna make an attempt, you know?
No.
I think he would die.
He's too tanky. Rippo is way too tanky for Saken
And I
to do
think
something
Rippo
like
has
that.
a blade armor?
He does.
Right?
He does. He's gonna actually, he's gonna end up killing himself. Now, Maima, he flickers out of there for the time being, but keep in mind that Lolios is opting to go for the Trinity builds, so the on-hit is very effective. Wow, even goes for a GDS as well.
Hey, no one ever said, yo bro, that's too much movement speed.
Well,
No such thing as too much movement speed.
considering the amount of running he's been doing here, it makes a lot of sense. He needs the GDS, but the Lord now, it's going to be down towards half HP. Rippo holding in the recall. He's going to be TPing back here, trying to shove up the lane up top. So Team Hawk might be able to take this opportunity to go in for the fight, but at the same time, Saken needs to hit the biggest spear of his career. Take his own time.
I don't think it's happening for the time being. Saken, usually he throws that spear when he knows something is about to happen. And Team Hawk, we need to see their enablers. People like Iris, Noir, maybe even Maima, but mainly Noir is the one you want to keep your eyes on if you're wondering whether or not they're going to fight.
Oh. They have got to make a play here. Take your time, Lolios. Take your time. Find the moment. Spear comes in. They find Storm. They're going to try to make a attempt. No, the Holy Baptist comes in. Second, he needs to run, but he somehow gets out with a flicker. He turns and kills, but no go. Team Hawk riskiest play.
Oh.
Patience is a virtue. In this case, now Team Hawk, they have to make a run. And Loleo, they walk in for the setup. He gets the kill, but he's taking so much damage. Janus can't see the finish well, but it comes down to Maima to salvage the fight. They kill off Loleos. Team Hawk, they're able to respond to this. Every pixel counts. The biggest catch of their careers. And now Janus threatening Storm. But RSGMY, they have been pushed back. Now, Lord as a priority. Saken already here. Janus nowhere to be found yet. They need to go in for the contest. Half HP. But no go. He's walking in. He's going for the crash. Astro Echo comes in. Yet he comes Reaper with the penalty zone. He catches one. Janus is so low. He needs to go in for the kill, but he's getting zoned by Rippo. Iris and Maima running for their dear lives. RSGMY with one play. They steal the Lord Pit away from Team Hawk.
Is that crazy or what? Is that crazy or what? RSGMY trade 1-for-1 against Team Hawk prior to the Lord. They end up losing their marksman later down the line, but Team Hawk are unable to capitalize despite the fact they're a full man up.
Right now, RSG having this Lord with them, they need Rippo with them. Because I feel like if Rippo is not around, it makes it that much difficult for them to be, winning any kind of fights, right? So RSG, just move with the Lord. At this point, just move with the Lord. Janus is trying to, oh, here we go.
Oh, comes Black Dragon. Zone them off. Real manipulation connects on tree. Iris doing a fantastic job zoning them off, but Repo is taking a little bit too much damage. The snipes comes in, but here comes Repo. Does he go? Nope. Saken doesn't want to go. Finally shows himself here, but a little bit too late. RSGMY now, Noir left all alone. He gets a 3-man stun, but that is going to be the mistake here. He thought his teammates are with him, and he's going to lose his life. 35 seconds on the sidelines here. Saken clearing the minions. RSGMY, do they want to continue? Next Creeper Waves is going to be from the bottom lane, but Team Hawk, they can't play aggressive now.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Team Hawk wanted to bait RSGMY, and more importantly, they wanted to cancel their recall so that Janus could get a free inhibitor. What happened to that plan?
Well, didn't exactly happen here. They panicked and backed off. Immortality comes in, Janus. Oh no! Okay, Repo. Wants to go for the zone. They get the inhibitor. RSGMY now spinning Windogo onto the wall. Real Bolivian comes in. Janus looking for the flank. Saken actually forget over there. The counterplay is so low. Calm down, bro. Be patient.
Most of the damage onto Saken is from Saken. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yep, nobody else seems to be tickling them. Maybe with like Janus versus Stoa, but then everybody hurts
Oh, I
Stoa.
mean, like, every single time Saken hits Vinogo, the damage just bounced back, and then Saken's the one actually taking more damage than Vinogo himself.
Blade armor. That's the big item difference here. And now he has to go through two of them. So
Yeah.
by the time he gets onto his second target, he's
maybe
most likely
that's
gonna
why.
die.
Like, he's hitting both Rippo and Vinogo at the same time.
Ah, yeah, because of the pierce.
And then both of them hit, because I was like, no one's hitting Saken, but he's half HP.
Yeah, he's just melting away. He's just hurting himself.
Yeah, 2 blade armers.
Oh, that's got to be frustrating. That's got to be real frustrating for Sasuke.
How do you deal with a Moskov? Just stand still. Let him do it himself.
Well, in this case, Saken is going to be going for the fight. He's going to be potentially caught without. Holy Baptism comes in. Janus getting a little bit too much damage here. A couple of pokes coming from the Leos. But Saken, again, he's getting poked away by Izanami every single time. Look at this. Just 1-2 HP, boom. He needs to back off. That is just so annoying.
He's getting burnt out here, slowly but surely. Let's not forget about the glowing wand as well. This is quite the situation to be in for the side of Team Hawk. It feels like a lot of these interactions really coming down to very small margins, or whether or not Izanami is able to land the Star Shatter in the first place, right? In the meantime,
Oh, Echo comes in, drops the first kill on Maima, tickles him down pretty low, but at the same time, from the back line, Janus is looking for the finish! Instant flicker from Izanami to going for the reset. Janus can't seem to go for the finisher. Black Dragon being expended. They want to steal the Lord. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Iris. What a steal. But they need to get out. The stun comes in, but where's the rest of his teammates here? There's no Spear of Destruction. While RSGMY will mow him down. Janus fights a kill on Lolios. He's so low. He needs to get out, but he cannot. Stone pins him to the wall. As Team Hawk, they may have gotten the Lord, but they lose so many members in this fight.
I mean, at this point, they're just taking it just to survive, right? Because if RSG got that, with 4 members still alive, it could have been GG, especially because the Lord would be marching up mid. But now they got to deal with the Lord. I have to see what happened that made it so that Vinogo did not secure that. I'm hoping he got stunned up. Maybe he got petrified. That's why he couldn't use the Retribution. Because if that's not the case, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's... I'm more shocked that he didn't hit the Retribution in the first place, right? I'm more shocked, sorry, not hit as in not used, but just didn't secure the neutral objective. So far, he's been going negative on these Retri fights thus far, and I think it's really starting to cost them these types of games, these long, drawn-out war of attrition. They might be 18 kills ahead of Team Hawk, but they're only 900 in terms of gold deficit.
Dude, this 1 point to back him up is it's a little bit difficult for junglers to secure when you don't have a roamer that has a lot of crowd control. You know, like those tanky roamers to push people away. Stome is there to heal. If he hits his Holy Baptism, then that's the only type of crowd control that can make sure that your jungler ensures to get the objective. But this one is a bit difficult.
Well, Astro Echo comes in. They will start things off on Vinogo. They get the kill. Repo with the penalty zone, not connecting on Janus. This is huge for Team Hawk. But the snipes from behind. They find Noir. One shot by Izanami. What was that shot? Izanami, the Prince of Mage. My God.
Man disappeared so quick. But so far, no advantage. Like, despite these picks happening, nothing is really happening for the side of Team Hawk or even for RSGMY. Like, these picks are pretty meaningless so far unless they're able to 2x, maybe even 3x, and even then the gold doesn't really matter because they're already past the capped mark.
Oh
Right.
boy.
It's 21 minutes. Might not have noticed it, but it's going on to 21 minutes and 30 seconds, and Janus is having a difficult time here, right? 4-4-4, kind of uninteractive here because even Izanami, he has a tough time trying to kill him. Izanami didn't die the first game. Did he die the second game? Maybe he did.
He didn't the previous game.
Oh. Well, as a player, his...
Oh, wait. Storm didn't die as well.
Yeah,
Storm
so...
didn't die. It was Izanami.
This is 3 games coming in, and they have tried to kill Izanami time and time again, but...
They just can't find him.
Yeah, this boy won't go down. I mean, like, they found him. He used the ult and everything. It's like, yo, bro, that's not enough. You're an assassin. I'm a mage. Don't you know that mages are tanky now?
He instantly flickered out as well, I think, when Janus tried to make a play here. But interesting enough, I think Husky brought up a very good point here. Noir has died 11 times now in this game.
I mean, he's a free susceptible target. It's not like Noir has a lot of escape mechanics. Even the onward, a very, very short dash. It's not the longest in the world. Wait.
RSG, you gotta see
this.
This
is so...
Okay.
Okay, yeah, they saw it. They know what's up. That's so risky. But considering how purple buff on Janus once again, we haven't seen too much of Janus trying to make a play. Considering that every single time RGMY has something to stop him, and that's, I think, worrisome considering that he's such a mobile character.
I mean, worrisome is one way of describing it. Oh, spear.
Oh wait! Here. Oh wait! They found Storm. No. Oh whoa. Okay. He wants to steal the Little Wanderer instead. But okay. Risky plays. Team Hawk getting a little bit on edge here. Be patient, my friend. Be patient.
I mean, there's patience, and then there's like, hey man, you can push the side of the map. There's like 3 different lanes to work with. You can pick top. Maybe consider bottom. Top is looking more economic for red side for Team Hawk. Bottom side.
Oh,
nope.
Looking for the play here,
Not
Janus.
good
He's
enough.
gonna get caught out. He needs to get out now. Fortunate for him, he's got the energy to back off. But with that play, seeing 3 men down bottom, Team Hawk making quick work here on towards the Lord. But look at this, the Lord so tanky. Sakan says, you know what? I'm not gonna take the Lord. I'm gonna focus on Repo. Does he go down? Yes, he will. That's gonna be first immortality. Real Motivation comes in on Vinogo.
Oh!
Here comes the spear. It does connect, but do they want to commit to this? Iris now needs his help. He is gonna get burned down here as goes for the Black Dragon. Saken looking for the kill. He can't find Vinogo. He can't, but it's Izanami with the snipes. Repo with the catch. What a shot by RSGMI. What a shot by the Prince of Mage. And just like that, Sake goes down. Hawk, they've lost all their advantage. RSGMY, they're coming to crash in. They're looking to push forward. 5v4. Now, Echo comes in, tier 3. Janus, they need to make a play. Maima taking so much damage. They need to clear the minutes. Vinogo trying to stop the Fanny. Look at this. Janus, he can't do too much. Inhibitor will fall as well. Finally, at the Crystal Blaze, Realm Nation, they have to clear the minions. They have to do everything they can. But Repo! Again! Repo! This man, what a chance! They catch the two members. And they won't take game 3. RSGMY, despite all odds, finds the way to close out the game.
That's a point lead in RSG MY's favor. 2-1 in this best of 5. RSG climbing back up. Team Hawk, a couple of things to think about for the upcoming game. I don't think we're going to be seeing that Fanny in a while.
Dude, Izanami's my boy, but Repo, man, like that man's the MVP. But hey, you know what? Story of every jungler in MPL, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia. Assassins ain't doing it, man.
Assassins just
Is not the way. I mean, like, when you can't burst down a mage, and we're hyping, oh, this is Janus on the Fannies. Like, if you can't burst down a mage,
that's when you know it's pretty over. And to be fair, he only tagged him once.
Bloodwings, man,
Yeah.
that's an item.
Like, I think as soon as he saw Fanny, instantly flickered out. But even then, his HP was like, even with Bloodwings, was like down to 20%.
I don't know.
I don't think it was 20. It was like barely 10.
I saw it's about like 30%, and then the heal from Storm topped him back up to 80%.
Makes a little bit more sense here. Let's have a look backstage and check out our MVP of this game. I'm rather curious of who actually deserves this MVP this round. A lot of players have done some good work, but that's management, and that's Ripple.
Oh, this is like, oh, dude, this is so easy. You can see the management trying hard, and he's like, why is this game so easy?
Different priorities. Ending off 9-1 and 12, one of his better performances based off of his KDA. It tells you the entire story with damage taken per minute, breaking the 7.5k mark. Man is just thick, gigantic, and with a little bit of help from an Astral Echo, it's no doubt that he will find you in the penalty zone.
One interesting point. We usually see Terizlas with a Rupture. This time he's going for the Trill. Perhaps that's the reason why, even with his tanky build, he does so much damage. I mean, like, it almost doesn't make sense by how much damage he's dealing.
I suppose. I do also think that a lot of his job is cleaning up the mess that has been created by RSGMY, right? Like, when we see Vinogo go down, they're expecting Rippo to be the next person that kind of cleans up that fight, if not Loliel's.
Either way, call him the janitor, man. He cleans up well.
I-
He sees the mess and he takes it out.
I'm not gonna lie, it feels like Repo can see the future, man. Like, there were a lot of instances he knew exactly where Janus was gonna go. In that final catch before the Crystal, I'm pretty sure that he went in for the penalty zone before Janus actually arrived there. So it was like a pre-fire situation for him and catching two players. That was just crazy for Repo.
So let's talk about it. Saket on his Moskov.
Oh.
Is it a good deny pick?
Well,
I think the deny intent was great, but execution-wise, I think it's a player issue.
I mean, we talked about it. Like, is it worth it? Like, Gideon, do you think it's worth it?
I think he needs to be back on his traditional scalers, right? I definitely think that he should be looking to play something in the Natan. In this game, I do think he got a little bit unlucky. Let's not forget the fact that he has to deal with two blade armors, both of which put him down to 50% HP if one of them dies entirely. So Saket is like, I don't want to deal with these dudes. Give me somebody else to hit.
He actually got a Haas Claw eventually in the final item.
Yeah, just so that he can
to get
minimize the
sustained
damage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Then the moment they see the hospital, it's like, yo, Lolio, you build the blade armor. And then let's all just stand in one line and watch him kill himself.
Oh, dude, it's rough. It's really, really rough here for Saket because no matter like who he finds the Spear of Destruction on, doesn't really get like a fair fight. Like Golios just runs away, right? He runs away with the help of Slum as well, with the extra movement speed, especially when he's transforming from the Lycanthropy. It's just tough. It's just tough.
Interesting to see how much damage everyone did. And Maima actually topping off 119,000 damage. Izanami 101. Rarely do we see someone dealing more damage than a Novaria. And the thing is, Izanami hit those shots.
He did. I think a lot of this just came down to like the burn effect from the glowing wand. Once Maima got that, he was
True.
just free hitting Venogard, free hitting Rippo. Sometimes if he's lucky, he gets the chunk out Loliels as he's walking up. But for the most part, yeah, plenty of people to hit for free, plenty of people to burn.
I think when it comes to this situation here, both Izanami and Maima kind of played their role really well, right? Their intention of this job, in this composition, is to peel off your enemy opponents. Like every single time somebody comes into the fight, they need to peel off somebody's HP for a finisher. In this case, RGMY, the finisher was Lolio's going to be the finisher or Repo to set up the fight. But I feel like Team Hak's perspective, they needed Janus to be that finisher, but every single time he shows up, he gets stopped by Repo, which is a little bit unfortunate though, because I feel like Maima did a fantastic job on the Eve, who's quote-unquote not a meta hero in this current batch.
Let me just say as well, I don't think what RSG did is too disruptive inside of the jungle. I mean, sure, we see them invade every once in a while, but it's not like, oh, we gotta do this now. We gotta hard invade. It's like they actually gave Janus
So much space.
so much space.
Yeah.
So if you're a Fanny player and you have a lot of space and you have quite a lot of squishy targets and you still can't do it, Muntan's gotta look at this whole wanting Assassin to go back to the jungle like differently, man. Like it's not enough.
Maybe that's not the problem. Maybe it's the emblems. Maybe they should give Assassin emblems some more armor penetration. That's what we're missing, baby.
But that's the thing. If that were to happen, Marksman will get more penetration as
Then
well.
Marksman also give him the armor penetration. That's what we all need. We all need to make sure that tanks don't have a fun time, right? 24-9 the score. Honestly, very deceiving numbers here considering how long this game actually was. But I have to admit, both sides, it's very difficult for them to be quote-unquote proactive in this game. Every single time we see them walk up, there's a huge deterrent that tells them, nope, you gotta take a step back. Oh no, there's something else that we gotta clean up on the side lanes. And I feel like Team Hawk is always torn between the two.
Izanami is doing quite a good job making Team Hawk unable to really commit to a fight.
Yeah.
Because again, before the fight starts, it's like, you're half HP. Do you sure you want to continue? If you do, have you met my friend Ripple?
No, I have
He's
not.
the assassin.
He's the assassin. Looking at the total healing, we have the most coming out from Storm and the rest catching up slowly. But man, I think that I feel like the numbers should be flipped. It should be Rippo looking for those big engages, and Loliel's the one who's having like the big numbers at the very end. It just didn't happen to be the case.
Ripple pulls Lolia to the side. It's like, hey, yo.
So tell me what goes on in that conversation? Say what did Ripple tell to Lolio?
Yeah, Ripple grabs Loliel's by his collar, pushes him up specifically against the KGE locker, and it's just like, give me your lunch money. They go over to the KGE gaming house just to do that.
It's like, yo, Lolio, have you got the married yet? I need this money more than you.
Whoa.
Listen here, you single man. Let's look at our key players of this match. Give it up for our rich guy, Carry, Sabag, and Windman, going to be Sakin, Maima, Vinogo, and as well as Izanami. Maima coming up big time as the carry.
Well, the rich guy is here is Saken, so do you think he's married now?
I'm sure he is, right? He's a rich guy. Makes sense. Adds up. That's a stereotype. That's what I would like to believe.
Okay.
My non-existent money. But for the most part, I think that Sakin... unfortunately, I don't think this Moskov is it for him. I don't see him making relevant plays. And on a Moskov, it can be pretty difficult to do that, right? You're looking to slam two heroes against each other, not just to use the spear to knock them away defensively. You want to get a little bit more bang for your buck.
I think it comes down to priority targeting, right? He hasn't been able to find the right targets to actually kill here. I feel like Izanami was the biggest threat as well in this game because of how he's positioning himself. But let's take a look at the KDA map on where Ripple has been finding a lot of crucial kills. And look at this, a majority of them has been coming from Noir as well as Fanny dying a lot of times here in this game. I think Noir died, what, 12 times, 13 times this game?
You know what's the amazing thing?
What?
The Edith assists Rippo so much. I feel like he's on the wrong team.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Noir. Thanks,
Noir.
buddy. Thanks, Uchiha Noir. You died the most. You tried your best. And that's all we can ask from you.
That's all they asked for. That's all they asked. But these games are like dragging out way too long here. 24 minutes across the board. It feels like, again, as much as Team Hawk want to be proactive on this map, they just can't. And worse yet, they can't find that closing angle against RSGMY, especially when they're on their comfort heroes at the to say the least.
Hey, think about this, right? This might actually be the true prime RSG, baby. Like, we've been gossiping about the prime RSG, and they've always bragged about how late game is RSG game. Maybe in the playoffs is where they showcase that skill, and so far, it's been working out for them.
It's been working out to a degree, right? Like, I don't know how much of this I can agree with.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like a majority, well, a good chunk of it is Team Hawk making the mistake more than RSGMY forcing the mistake.
Like picking up the fanny. I mean, like, if Sutsujin can't make it happen, I feel like everyone else will have a hard time. Because I feel like if Assassins are a thing, Gary would have picked it up.
But what if Kyrie makes it happen?
You know what? Let's bring it more down to earth. What if Chibi makes it happen?
Actually, Chibi
Yeah,
could make it
I
happen.
think Chibi
Right?
Chibi could make it happen.
Right, enough about this Kyrie guy. It's all GB should
Never
be
heard
able
of
to
it
play
before.
Never heard about the best player in the world. I mean, that player.
Sorry, excuse me, the best player is Sans.
You're right.
Right.
You're right. That's
Sans is
true.
the best
That's
player.
true. Forgive me for my indiscretion. I need to be careful with my words, they say. Now, I think for the most part, as Assassins, they just don't seem to be making it, not cutting it just yet. It feels like you don't
I
get
see.
enough value. What'd you see at the very end?
No, I see what you did there. They are cutting it because they mostly use swords and knives and forks.
I don't know if you're trying to insult me, but my
I
skin's
don't
made out
know.
of steel.
I don't know, man, but
They ain't cutting it.
Skin
Fanny
steel.
cutting it.
look at this, right? This was a really sick play from Repo. Like, he ulted right before the Fanny even arrived. So that was a pretty good catch from Repo. But I must say, I feel like as much as people say that Repo, oh, he's not going to be playing here, he likes practice, he's got married, he's not the best XP laner. But to be honest, after seeing him in today's performance here, lack practice or not, he still got it, bro.
Did people see that?
Are you going back on saying that you liked Iris?
I like the Iris more microly, but today, Repo just showed me he's out microed Iris on a personal level. It's crazy.
I don't believe it. Not until I see full damage Cho on Ripple.
I mean, Ripple is the one that kicked Iris out, right?
That's also a good point. That's also a good point.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey, wave the dragon out of here.
well, he's got the Cho cosplay though. Like, I think Repo pulls off the Cho cosplay really, really well.
Does
Oh,
he
yeah,
now?
he does. He does.
The most recent one. Like, I can't remember what's the skin called, but it was pretty cool.
The Dragon
all
Boy
red.
skin.
Not? No,
I believe it was the Dragon
it
Boy
was
skin.
not Dragon.
As long as he wears, I thought anybody who just wears like the old Echo merch is basically
No, it was the
a Cho
skateboard one. It was the
cosplayer.
515 All-Star one, I think.
Oh, oh, that's a good one. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good one. I like that one a lot.
Like, Lexia best jungler.
Lexia, they're still bringing them back. They're still bringing them back. People still remember the legacy players' names, but unfortunately, they're not subbing him in.
Hey, Season 7 champion, baby. You know? And guess what? He was playing under RSG at that time. As a jungler. But ever since then, never again.
Kind of ironic, to be fair. And more so, I'm more surprised that Team Hawk isn't pulling in any of their subs. Let's see some words coming in from RSG Loliels. We asked him, what does RSG want to prove this playoffs? He replied, we want to prove to everyone that we can still compete, that we will put up a good fight.
And put up a good fight they have. I mean, they could secure this last one if Coach Wright is not careful with the draft. Because I feel like both teams are taking quite a number of risks when it comes to the draft. Because especially with Coach Wright, his own philosophy, it's about something unorthodox. If they don't see it coming, then we're going to pick it up.
I definitely thought you were going to say it's definitely about comfort, right? Because it just makes sense. Oh!
Almin?
Whoa, post like your favorite hero. He's been spinning his way through.
He's
I
true.
wonder what that is.
I
think
mean, it
it's a
could be
Diggy.
Almin, it could be a Nakai.
It's a Beyblade!
Yeah, sure. Beyblade.
If I remember the Beyblade song, I would sing now.
I'm literally singing the song. It's as close as it gets. It literally goes. It's Beyblade. Spin it. You know what? Never mind. This
The only song that I can think of right now is do. It's time to do. He had a seizure.
you're definitely gonna give me a stroke by the end of today.
Someone save me. The caster's desk got crazy, but now going back to the game here. Apparently now match point for RSGMY, reverse sweeping the fight against Team Hawk. How will Team Hawk fight back? Are we gonna see the full game 5 today here in MPLMY season 13 in particular? The playoffs has been a script that no one can predict. Everyone is going all out, and in this case, will Team Hawk drag this out to game 5?
That's why I was saying in the beginning, good luck with your guest coins, because I'm pretty sure this is the one of those few regions that you lose a majority of them. Team Hawk going to be on blue side, RSGMY on the red side. Pretty much seeing similar bans once again, but Yutong is going to get banned out by the side of Team Hawk. Not going to let it pass through over to Rippo again.
Will Team Hawk ban out the Moskov? I mean, Lolio has shown that he can use a bunch of heroes, right? It really doesn't matter, even if he doesn't secure the Moskov. The fact that RSG is willing to pick up the Novaria first pick, I feel like it's just about not getting it onto Saken. Like, I feel like Saken just get the Nathan. Doesn't matter why it was. Wow. What? You argue?
This is.
Wow.
Do you not feel like this is an ego thing? I feel like it's an ego thing at this point. They're like, oh, you should pick it up for yourself when you're on red side. And they're like tying one hand behind their back. What'd you say? Huh? Play this game with one hand? I'll give it a try.
It's like Sora is taking the philosophy of Coach Wright. The more you don't expect it, the more we're going to do it.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see a game 5 right here, right now, because Chips has been let through. We talked about how broken Chips in the recent patch as well. Team Hawk, do they want to give this to Noir? And question here is Noir able to play at that level? Because right, he didn't have a good game at all just now, because he's died twice and he has 12 times.
12 times.
12 times, not twice.
Not
12
two
times.
times.
12 times, sorry. He's died 12 times and is the highest ever death in a single game in MPL. I'm not sure in the whole world yet. I'm pretty sure there are public games where people die 20 times, 30 times.
I feel like people at most die once.
Huh.
You don't get a second chance. I mean, if you die once, then
Okay, yeah. IRL joke, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's
Is that not hilarious? Is that not hilarious? I'm still snickering. I'm still snickering at it. Lo Yin as well as Moskov get locked in for the side of RSG. Now, this doesn't really tell too much about the comp, at the very least.
Lu Yi?
Yeah.
He's not using Lu Yi?
Yeah.
Oh!
I mean, that's what they left open on
My
purpose.
boy grew up? I mean, we haven't seen the game.
Hey.
Just you.
you were telling this about like game 1, right? Like for those of you who have not been here since the first game of this game during the drafts, LaFell did mention Izanami doesn't play Lo Yi because every single time he plays it and they divergent into a fight, they lose the fight and they die.
Do you have a problem with your headset? Have you not listened to what I just said?
Oh,
You know what? Forget it.
Don't worry. Forget about it. Forget about it. Just like Lo Yi slipping through the draft,
game
right?
5 potentially.
I'm starting to. I'm not 100% sure, right? Because now that we see the Natan as well as Fredrin, it's starting to look a little bleak. But that means Minotaur finally gets let through for the side of RSGMY. A potential answer on top of that Lo Yi to make sure that these chip flanks can be dealt with and can be slowed down.
Oh, this is going to be a little bit weird here because when we talk about counters for Chips here, personally I feel like Carmilla is one of those heroes that can actually do really, really well. But against a Minotaur, it's going to be a little bit difficult, right? Like, Minotaur need to be in position to actually set up for the fights, anticipating where this chip is going to be coming from. But if this chip comes from a different angle and Minotaur isn't able to scout out this chip, he's not going to be able to team run the fight. So I am expecting RSGMY to play a little bit more Ube unless the Izanami is able to take things in his own hands by starting the fight first before the chips get there.
Starting the fight first before Chip
With the
gets
divergence.
there. These conditions need to be met. This sounds more like a cross-map play than anything else, right? And I
Yes.
think that RSGMY, the only cross-map play I see is Moskov by himself, 4 sitting around the neutral objective, right? And then you expect the Spirit of Destruction to eventually fly halfway across the map. We do see that the Terizla gets banned as well as the Vexana, both of which make sense in this context considering they're both very team fight oriented.
What kind of bans are going to be happening here? Because it feels like right now, Janus is in a very awkward position, right? They tried to cheese his strategy in the previous game here, but I feel like right now, the composition with Chips is that they need to play something that can allow this Chips to go absolutely out of control. And in this case, I feel like the Faramis ban from the side of RSG isn't too bad. If Team Hawk decides to pick it for themselves, RSG would not have any way to stop them at all. Unless, you know, what, Izanami is free shotting every single one from side Team Hawk.
Or a 5-man with no Inferior.
Oh, yeah, true.
Either or works here. And I think even with some strong abilities that can, you know, spread and have some decent AoE, the Lo Yi deals with both pretty fairly. Like, I think Faramis in this sector, especially in lane against that Lo Yi, can be a bit of a pain to deal with because you got to walk up a little close to get the maximum value of your Ghost Bursters, right? And every time you do that, Lo Yi is able to get a free yin-yang reaction off of you at level 2.
Yeah, and seeing how this is happening as well, how are they going to play this? Because as of now, Team Hawk, they have to ban off one of those heroes here. In this case, what jungler does Vinogo play from RGMY? Because Barat's completely left ignored. CC going to be the ban here. They don't even bother about what Vinogo plays or do not play.
I mean, he's guaranteed going to play Akai. I want to
Lancelot?
say that, but he did play Boxia the last time. Lancelot, too far-fetched. Really too far-fetched. It's not one of those heroes that you just pick up willy-nilly here, and I think worse yet, it's pretty difficult unless you're able to, unless damage items get better. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. But for the most part, base damage is too low to make it happen. The Akai is a pretty good option for the side of RSG if they don't want to reveal their EXP lane too early on, unless they've got, like, they lock in the Barats to kind of play the EXP jungle flex.
What's it going to be? 5 seconds left. And they do pick the Lapu Lapu. They still keep Vinogo's hero up in the air. So not really sure what they're going to be picking here. So Team Hawk, they have to deal with whatever's to come. Boxia maybe? Does RGM want to play Boxia Vinogo?
I feel like picking up the Akai would make sense going up against the Chips. The only thing that doesn't make sense is because they have the Lui. Right? Lui pulls everyone in, but then Akai pushes everyone out. Like, there's a possibility for that kind of mistake to happen. So I feel like they want to avoid it as much as they can. Try to get a hero that doesn't have a lot of displacement so that you don't mess up the Lui combination.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Like that's why it feels weird that the Arlet gets banned out. It feels weird when we see heroes like these get taken away. But Pharsa gets locked in for the side of Team Hawk, as well as Paquito. Finally, we see some Paquito in the EXP sector. Gonna be able to push out faster than that Lapu Lapu. But keep in mind that raw damage. Both Lo Yi and as well as Moskov, they've got to be aware of his positioning.
They definitely needed something to go through the portal. Like, I think Paquito, instant diving with the shortcut here, instantly going to be able to one-shot somebody. So they eventually needed somebody that can dive this here. Pharsa, Nathan, not exactly the greatest to join in the shortcut here, but Fredrin, if he is able to join the fight, catching a couple of taunts here is going to be good. But again, they need some sort of burst. And RGMY, all they got to do right now is just find a way to stall. In this case, Akai isn't too bad just because it deals with the chip, but looks like, no, it's gonna be the Roger jungle. What? Okay.
Man.
What do you guys think? Like, is this too greedy from RGMY?
I feel like it's still okay. The only problem is that if Chips goes inside the jungle, this Roger is not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Unless they've specifically planned out this Lui to counter the Chip so that you just preemptively set your second skill and then use your first skill to get that reaction.
This one might be a little tough here because especially at level 1, that's when we can expect to see Noir go for these invades. But the side lane pressure really depends on what buff slide it's going to be. Well, with that being said, enough questions. As we know, both of these comps, they want a team fight. They want to do it fast. They want to hit hard and get out of there as we move over to our 4th game of this series. Current score 2-1. It's going to be Team Hawk up against RSGMY.
Well. Do or die for Team Hawk. Fighting for their lives. Can they continue? Because RSGMY is coming to storm them and show you who's boss. Team Hawk has not won a single game against RSGMY for almost 300 days now. Sorry, 500 days apparently. Can they make history now and stop this? Or will RSGMY continue to shut down Team Hawk until now?
Oh, let's find out, because now the early game is not going well for Maima, having to use his Purify so early on. Izanami and Storm just making sure that they have full dominance over this mid lane for as long as possible. Even opting to fight for Litho Wanderer here, knowing that it's been given up by the side of Team Hawk.
Well, I mean, Vinogo is a damage dealer jungler, so this is going to be very interesting because I would say the last that was pretty damagey was Marcus, and he did not do well on that. So I'm hoping for the best on him on this Roger, because Roger has been doing quite okay for Max coming in from the Niners. I don't know. We have to look at how Noir is on this chip. When he was using against KGE, he was pretty good, but now going up against Vinogo, if he is proactive, Team Hawk should be able to slow down his farm quite significantly.
Like, I'm expecting Noir to get super proactive now, but because of the recent changes of 2 minutes here, he's been just playing very, very safe here. And on top of it all, they are going to be sending an ambush onto his repo here. They are anticipating this, but Vinogo does scout out Noir as well as Janus, so they know exactly where this chips is, so they don't have to risk anything at all. And I'm surprised, RGMI, they should be having the backs against the wall, but look at that, Vinogo is so confident, and Noir is going to try and harass him, but nope. Nothing super crazy yet. Both sides just don't want to fight at all.
I think that Team Hawk recognized that we don't know where Izanami is going to be. It's better not to risk it for the time being, especially since it's going to be the first turtle up in a little bit. However, I will say, Janus, he's brought down to 50% of his HP. I don't think he's actually going to participate.
Yeah, Noir also getting poked apart as well. Iris from the backsides. Can look for the flaring Ripple, looking for the catch on Noir. But looks like Turtle will be in the hands of RSGMY. They just cannot afford to commit to this right now.
Small wins for the side of RSGMY. While that turtle was going down, it allowed Janus to actually start working on his own jungle clear. Both mid laners will have to recall as they run out of mana. But here's that first gank on towards that top side, instantly stopped by Loliels.
Right now, looking at the jungle, looks like Storm as well as Vinogo, they're the one actually pressuring Janus, but Iris is there.
Okay, Olivia agreed to place here coming in. Frederick Abstract comes in as well. Vinogo managing to steal the buffs away. Team Hawk, they're losing up a little bit of control here, as RGMY somehow getting away a little bit too much as Team Hawk. Now Noir finally gets his forward. He does have the shortcut. He needs to make some kind of play somewhere in the map, but it seems like RGMY, they're just quick to react here.
They're not making it easy. Now with no access to that mid lane, it's tough for Noir to make a confident call. Eventually, he might just have to test out the portals, the Y-Walk, just to figure out where everybody from the side of RSGMY is going to be. I mean, he still has the flicker. Worst comes to worst, you just lose a battle spell.
It looks like RSGMY mostly are floating on top. The Minnow Fury is there for Stone. Only Saken as well as Maima have the Purify.
Oh, they've been rotating a little bit well here. Vinogo getting stunned on his way through, but they just don't want to commit against this Roger. Level 7, 3 minutes into the game. Very, very fast lead here on this Roger, but again, no fights at all from both sides. Like, they're just playing it so safe.
I mean, there's no reason to get into a fight right now. And I think, again, both sides very hesitant to actually walk out too far to make that first mistake, because we've seen whoever makes the first mistake on their team usually is the one who takes a large or a very long period of suffering, maybe like 18 minutes sometimes, 16 minutes of just pure domination before they actually get to play the game.
Right now, Noir is scouting, but it looks like he's not scouting aggressively. Like, he is not going for Vinogo at all. Maybe what happened in the previous game, dying 12 times, is really impacting him here.
Yeah, playing a little bit safe here, but shortcut comes in. They find Storm, but here comes the combo. Vinon's Rage catches onto Storm, managing to chain CC on Saken. He will lose his life, but the rest of the team's not going to be able to find anything here. Spear comes in. Izanami also able to get out to safety. Vinogo looking for the clutch plays, but he is going to be able to get out. So for a 1 for nothing here. RGMY still able to contest this. They're quickly rushing the turtle for now. RGMY, do they miss this? No, they don't, right? That's no way Janus misses this time.
I mean, no way, but so far the junglers today, you know.
Yeah, and I think that even Vinogo recognizes, like, hey, I don't have my retribution. I might as well just power farm. I want to be able to double the EXP and farm that Janus has by the end of this game, and I think he's on track to do exactly that for the most part.
Right now, I'm just the power spike coming in from RGMY. You got to figure out like when does Binogo want to go in? After 2 items, after 3 items. I kind of feel like using Roger jungle, 2 items is honestly enough for you to go a little bit more aggressive.
Well, speaking of a divergent play here down bottom, finally RGMY taking a little bit of initiative, but once more, where is this Chips? Like, why isn't he able to find anyone so far? It's weird to see how having a Chips and Team Hawk just playing this passively against RGMY.
Well, to be fair, I guess both teams are relying heavily on their mid laners to scale up, or at the very least, their scalers to get into a better position. RGMY waiting for 3 items on Lolios, 2 items for Izanami. Team Hawk waiting for 2 items on Maima, waiting for 3 items onto Socket, arguably even a 4th.
I mean, right now even Izanami as well. He's been trying to get this diversion plays, but so far hasn't been hitting the mark. Not very different from what Maima did in game number 1. Izanami is unsure of the positioning coming in from Team Hawk. But to be fair, like I said, I don't know when is the true power spike coming in from RGMY where they say, you know what, we have enough, let's go for it.
Okay, Divergent comes in, they go down, they're trying to make an attempt on Socket. Looks like it will go, but Noir not able to stop that at all. He's a little bit too slow, but Maima from the sides, he gets 1 shot. Izanami cut. Oh no, not enough. He needed 1 more feathered airstrike, but he was so afraid. So Izanami able to survive this. Noir looking for the play, zoning them off here. Shortcut still available. Iris focusing on the turret, finally finds it, but Noir, just go for it. Like, you can, do you want to, but he's afraid. Finally drops it as well. Instantly goes for the melt, and they take him down after so long. The first aggressive play by Noir. And RGMY, they lose Lolios. But in the contrary, Binogo, he's not too happy about this. He's gonna try and fight back into this fight. Stone with the stuns. Minon's Rage still available, doesn't commit to this yet. Turtle contest comes in. Saken takes a tier 1 down bottom though.
I mean, it looks like he's going to get the tier 2 as well. Team Hawk has been taking 3 objectives. No one from RGMY is protecting the side leagues. Oh,
No,
Biloli is there.
Lolios 1v1 with Saken. Who comes on top? Saken wins that fight once more in the bottom. Divergent play comes in. They get it to the furthest point. They want to hunt down Saken, but Saken is already out of there. He's going to be able to get out. Meanwhile, Noir, does he have the shortcut though? He's still on cooldown. He will show himself, but that's all. As RGMY loses the 1v1 for Lolios down bottom.
Now some breathing space. Now a moment of respite. Team Hawk, they've been proactively probing at RSGMY to finally find that hole, and they found 3 kills, but at the same time, like I mentioned in the beginning, right? Whoever made that first mistake, that's why we saw them so hesitant. Just a large amount of punishment. Ended up losing a good amount of towers. They ended up losing a neutral objective at the same time. That's why both sides are playing footsies with each other, trying to make sure whoever reacts first is going to die.
Oh no, Noir, what you doing? You gotta run. Tier 1's there. Lolio, does he got a stun? Oh, okay. Doesn't have to. Noir, to be able to get out to safety. Look at this. Just casually eating chips as if nothing just happened. Like, I died 12 times the last game, man. Like, this game, like, sure, whatever, man.
I mean, it goes to show, right? It feels like he is not trying to open up the map using his passive, rather just throwing his body up in front just to get a good, rough idea. For the most part of it, I don't think there's anything wrong, but it just feels like there's not enough coverage. Since they've already gotten rid of 2 tier 1s, why not, right? Be bold, be brave.
Uh-oh, the 2-man taunt here. Here comes Feather. Ezra comes in. Repo, does he get out? Yes, he will, but from behind, out of nowhere, they find him instead. Here comes the collapse. 3-man, Minon Rage. They're all clumped up. It's gone. It's a disaster. 3-man down. Sake now 1v1 against Lolio. Nope, it's not going to be a 1v1 this time. Double kill, baby. RSGMI, I mean, 1 mishap. They take 4. What a catch from RSGMY.
What a fat wombo combo that was. Izanami making sure that there are no holes in that combination with Storm flickering in with the Minon's Fury. Just no opportunity to really respond. A lot of yin-yang reactions there for him. But now this is the most solid lead we've seen so far from RSGMY. And they're looking to try and close this game. But we know how these games have been going. They've always taken at least 20 minutes thus far. Team Hawk, we're going to have to wait and see how they respond to beat back against RSGMY.
Okay. Seeing how Storm is playing, he's got the health, he's got the sustains this time. Noir, does he want to commit to a Minotaur? It's gonna be tough. Lord crashing in. Saken in the flank lines. Here's Storm. Oof, barely catches him. Narrowly escaping death as well for Team Hawk. Fighting for their dear lives. Elimination match. Match point for RGMY. Can they hold on? Iris still salvaging the fight. Oh no, Lolios, he caught him. He needs to get out. Iris, does he though? Everyone is here. Izanami got divergent now. He needs to buy time. There's a tier 1 standing there. Iris, does he force the fight? Oh no! The save the day. Noir brings in the Calvary. He finally falls, but RSGMY, they're ready to fight back. Team Hawk, they're all split off. Maima fights Izanami, but Saken, he got picked apart. He got killed by Repo. Team Hawk, you made the biggest mistake. You should have let Iris die. Now everyone is dead. Only Noir and Ramaima remains at RSGMY. They're gonna try and end things here for Team Hawk, ending their chances, ending their journey here in the playoffs. RSGMI knocking on the crystals, and they will do so. Team Hawk is out, and RSGMY makes it to the playoffs.
There you have it, Ripple. Give it to him. Walks up, knocking them out, and goes for the immediate stare down. Enemies in battle, but once it's out, it's all on the table. GG. Well played to RSGMY.
RSG, I would say game number 1, blundered in the draft. But we were talking about it. If that's what they can do with a Bosch draft, imagine what they can do with an amazing draft. And I gotta say, game number 2, 3, and 4, they brought their A game. They brought the best draft, and everything went as planned.
My goodness. After all that, they still are able to fist bump with each other. Let's throw it over to Rose to have a word with these two great teams.
Alright, itu dia perlawanan terakhir untuk hari ini. It is with a heavy heart that we have to bid goodbye kepada pasukan yang kedua untuk hari pertama MPL Malaysia. Guys, sebelum apa, we would like to ask Stadium MBSJ to give a warm round of applause kepada Team Hawk for their performance untuk musim ini. Okay, hold on. Aiman Haq nak cakap something actually. Dia minta mic. Alright.
Alright, hai, Assalamualaikum semua. Kami ingin minta maaf sebab kami tak dapat performance yang baik. Tapi dirinya saya dan tim Hawk di sini dengan duka citanya kita ingin maklumkan bahawa ini adalah pentas terakhir untuk tim Hawk di MPL, dan kami tidak akan lagi continue perjuangan kami di MPL. So minta maaf sangat-sangat kepada semua fan-fans tim Hawk. And insyaAllah kita orang doakan kepada tim-tim RSG dan tim-tim yang lain masih lagi di dalam pusingan kelayakan untuk playoff nanti. Apapun, again, thank you so much. Terima kasih. Minta maaf juga kalau ada salah silap daripada kami. Minta maaf kepada pihak Montun atau tim-tim lain. Dan juga thank you kepada semua, especially fans kita orang. Jangan lupa juga doakan untuk saudara-saudara kita di Palestine. All eyes on Rafah. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much to Team Hawk. And guys, we would like to give you guys a final bow. Thank you so much. An incredible run untuk pasukan Team Hawk. Unfortunately, it is their last season in MPL, but we hope to see the players in the future. Alright, dengan itu, pasukan yang akan advance further untuk jumpa Homeboys esok di upper bracket RSGMY. Alright, let's start with Loliel. The mic is with him. Loliel, sekarang apa perasaan Loliel dapat menang dan layak ke peringkat seterusnya untuk menjumpa Homeboys esok petang?
Saya dan pasukan juga rasa happy sebab season-season sebelum ni kami selalu kalah dekat playoff. Jadi harap-harap season ni akan ada kebaikan yang kami dapat lakukan.
Alright, sekarang RSGMY dah dapat nafas actually sebab dorang dah keluar daripada zone bahaya mana dorang akan ada 2 nyawa esok dekat upper bracket. Alright, let's go to Stone. Storm. Okay, Storm, I want to ask you, it was a 3-1 game, but what actually happened in that first game? What mistakes happened and how did you guys actually fix that to bounce back for a reverse sweep technically?
I think just miscommunication with the draft because in game 1 they really won the draft and just miscommunication in the draft for the first game, and after we fixed that we focused on our next 3 games and we were able to overwhelm them.
I see. So has the draft issues been resolved?
Yes.
Okay, so draft issue dah resolve. Pemenang dah ada. So, setiap ada match pemenang, kita ada MVP of the match. So, Stadium MPSJ, siapakah MVP anda untuk perlawanan ini? Alright, mari kita tengok MVP untuk perlawanan ini. In 3, 2, 1. Jeng, 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 jeng. MVP perlawanan ini jatuh kepada ting, ting, ting. Ripo! Okay, first of all, Ripo, I would just like to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Adakah being a newlywed player bagi you satu buff yang lain macam? Tengok, your wife is there. Sekarang dah wife Sebelum playoffs, fiancé. Sekarang dah wife. So ada buff tak?
Adalah, ada buff sikit.
Sikit je? Tidur luar malam ni.
Ada sikit lagi sini, luar lagi banyak.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Ripo, dengan kemenangan ni, you guys akan jumpa Homeboys esok. How confident are you in this matchup actually? And kalau you guys, sebab you guys akan jumpa Homeboys esok, kalau you boleh bagi prediction of score, best of 5, anything can happen. Adakah you rasa esok game sengit 3-2 ataupun game senang 3-0?
Kalau nak buat prediction, tak boleh lah nak buat sekarang sebab kita orang just keep consistent lah dengan performance kita orang. Jadi kalau nak bagi seru, 3-2 lah.
3-2. Okay, tapi how is it like? Apa RSG buat dalam 2 minggu break untuk get ready for the match yang akan datang actually?
Kalau untuk 2 minggu match, sebenarnya diorang yang training. Kalau saya tak training. So, tak tahulah. Diorang dah training lama tapi kenapa kalah dengan training 2 hari?
Wow, Ripo memang tak berubah. Okay, can we please give it to Vinogo? Okay, Vinogo, as a jungler from the Philippines, tomorrow you will be going up against Chibi. Now, in past interviews, Chibi always said he loves going up against import junglers. Now, one of Chibi's biggest nemesis is Demon Kite from RSG Philippines. Do you think you can do Demon Kite justice in tomorrow's game against Homeboys?
Maybe. We don't know, but anything can happen. Maybe we win, maybe we lose, but you never know.
Whoa, Storm.
Also, I hope like tomorrow our game won't be like today's game too. My retry sucks.
Wow, dia mengaku dia maret hari ni. Alright, can we give it to Sora? Coach. Alright, Coach. Did you expected the Team Hawk game to be this close, and did you actually predict the upcoming drafts from game 2 onwards? Because like what Storm said, game 1 punya draft tu korang agak terkejut dengan miscom. So, macam mana you dapat predict dorang punya upcoming drafts?
So untuk draft pertama tu ada beberapa miscommunication saya dengan player. So untuk game kedua tu kita orang dah resolve benda tu. And untuk diorang punya upcoming draft untuk Team Hawk, kita orang dah predict dah diorang punya strong hero, diorang punya winning condition apa, and also kita orang pun tahu yang diorang akan respect ban hero Ripo and also hero Izanami, Valentina. So kita orang benda tu buatkan kita orang senang lah untuk draft dan main dengan hero apa yang kami sesuai.
Alright, very insightful words from the coach. Tapi for the final words and before we let them celebrate their new victory, apa kata let's pass it to Izanami for the final words. Apa Izanami nak sampaikan dekat the fans, and of course jangan lupa ajak dorang tengok game korang esok lawan Homeboys.
Kepada semua yang datang ni, thank you lah sebab support kami walaupun sudah tengah malam ni kan, tapi still stay sini support kami. Thank you so much pada yang datang, dan Kepada tim Hak pun, thank you sebab memeriahkan MPL ni. Thank you. Thank you so much guys.
All right, thank you so much to RSGMY and congratulations on your win. You guys may now go celebrate your victory. Wow, wow, wow. Hari pertama playoffs kita tapi perlawanan yang sangat-sangat sengit. Dua pasukan sudah balik rumah tapi esok kita akan saksikan perlawanan upper bracket. Kita akan tengok SRG dengan Homeboys perform pertama kali untuk playoffs ni. Tapi before we wrap up our day, let's show it back to the casters to dissect what happened in the game 4 of this best of 5 series.
Thanks, bros. And once again, our MVP of the match goes to Rippo, ending today 14-3 and 16. I have a total of 3 matches, some low kill counts, but definitely a majority going over 20 minutes.
You know, I hate that Repo is so
good looking, so
what's the
wifed
right
up,
word for it?
so like
I'm
he's
just gonna
got
call him out,
hair.
like, he's arrogant, but you cannot deny his skills. Like he's only played
That's
2 days, and then straight up like it's so frustrating to see that Repo is just playing absolutely out of his mind, merit or not, you know, lack of training, but. I don't know, man. Like, he just destroyed Team Hawk as if they were nothing.
Hey,
like,
man.
hello? What?
Hey, man. It's just what you call talent. Just raw talent coming out from Rippo this time around. Again, I do think that he was given some pretty decent matchups to make some big impacts for the team, but it doesn't mean that RSGMY are completely out of the water. But first, let's discuss what happened in this game, because we didn't get to see as much impact coming in from Loliels in the previous games in comparison to people like Izanami and even Stoem coming out big time. In Vinomo, he's like, man, if I can't hit a retry, I might as well secure kills on players.
Izanami died.
How many times did he die? One. Ruined.
Okay, I'm curious here. How many times Noir died? Okay, 1.
He's fine. He's fine this time on this chip.
I mean, Izanami could have had a flawless run going up against Team Hawk. That would be the bigger flex.
I mean,
he died on the Lu Yi. He should not have picked up Lu Yi.
He shouldn't have picked up the Lu Yi. That was the big mistake here. Maybe that was the miscommunication.
That was also the miscall.
It's like go far, so it's like Lu Yi. Okay, got it.
It's like fair miss. Lu Yi? Lu Yi?
Yes, coach. I will lock in Lu Yi for you. Thank
It's
you
like,
very
no!
much.
What? in case you guys didn't understand, the coach basically said there were some miscommunications in the draft, especially game number 1. So we're just speculating. It's like, okay, pick up Masha. Huh? Farsa? All right. It's like, what? No!
No, please, guys, no! But throughout this game, I think, the one thing that RSG stood out a little bit more than Team Hawk was the fact that they're willing to walk in, right? I think that Stoem brings to the table very much a I wouldn't even say a disciplined trigger finger, but somebody that when he says go, you go. You don't ask questions about it later.
I think when it comes to this game for RGMY is that they understand their win condition and how to deal with these chips in particular, right? Like, personally, I feel like this was a good example on how the previous game, King Empire, who was it again?
Yeah, King Empire going up against Todak.
Todak couldn't exactly handle the chips here, and this is something that Todak should have done, and RSG just did it better than Todak did. And for them to actually deal with the chips was that they have to maintain that kind of pressure, but with the Loi coming into play, as long as the shotgun comes in, Izanami must be there to prepare. But what was really surprising is that because they're not playing super aggressive and they greed out on having a Roger as well as a Moskov, which in my opinion, I don't think Team should have gotten away, and Team Hawk should have gotten so much more pickoffs, but somehow they just couldn't find a single pick.
Well, I mean, considering that Janice's Fanny didn't exactly go well, I wouldn't think that he'd be like, you know what? After that game, lock me in on Roger. Same goes for Sakin, right? I don't think, Roger Moskov definitely doesn't really suit his style.
Yeah,
it's more,
yeah.
he is the Natan, he is the Claude, he is like, especially a Clint style of player. I hold my ground, I only use my abilities when I need to give up ground to gain an advantage in health.
I mean, one thing that Terrence did say, not everyone is suitable to go through the portal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Natan goes in is pretty risky. The Farsa go in is pretty risky. So, because here's the thing. Did RSG counter the chip, or did the chip do nothing?
I think it's more like there's no one that can compensate, utilize the chips really well. Like, the only one that really could do something was the Paquito. But again, if Noir is not starting the fight, and even if you start, what can he do? Because if they walk in and Storm gets like a 4-man catch, everyone's dead, which I think one of those fights did actually happen.
No, that's how RSG was able to get a sizable lead in their hands. Well, I mean, that in tandem with Izanami. Both of them were working together. But at the end of it, I would say that their comp is not designed to be playing around Chip, right? Like, I think they would have preferred to have Minotaur on their side. I think they would have preferred to have Kaja on their side. Something that synergizes a bit better.
You know what would be funny?
What?
If Chip opens the portal, they go in, Moskov throws his spear,
No
and then
way.
they go back into the portal. That would be a funny interaction.
It would be. My only wish is that they take away the cooldown time for when you go in and out of
Yeah,
the portal.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
can just go in and dip back out, dip back in, dip back out whenever you want to.
No.
that
Okay.
would be a funny
wait.
counter. It's like, yeah.
The first one is instant. The second one, basically the small portal outside is instantly teleported to the place. But if you take that big portal, it needs to be channeled before they can actually DP back.
Boring.
Cooldown.
Boring. Take away the shield. Take away that cooldown. Be able to switch
Oh yeah,
between
that would
the
be
two whenever
really cool.
you want.
That would be really cool.
Then there's some skill. There's a new mini game to play on the Land of Dawn. That'd be a fun idea. But for this game, unfortunately, just not the case.
So then the counter is like, okay, people pull in, Moskov pushes them back
Pushes
in.
back in.
People go in, Valir pushes them back in. People
back
go
over,
in,
Badang.
Badam pushes them back in. Akai pushes them back in. It's like, there's so many counters for Chips now.
The ultimate counterplay. You get Akai to spin on top of the portal. You walk up to the portal, you get knocked up from the other side of the map.
He's like, guys, come in. We can't. There's a Snorlax in the way.
I don't have that flute tool. Please let me through. Rich guy going over to Lolios and Carry going over to Izanami. Sandbag to Janus and best wingman is going to be Stoem. 3 out of the 4 being RSG members here. I mean, at least you're seeing on the final screen your boy and as well as Stoem up there.
I mean, Izanami carries everything, man. Rarely do you not see him being number one in terms of the damage.
He just continues to do good work every single time. I would say that the team still feels quite volatile at the end. Like, I don't walk away leaving very satisfied.
No,
with
here's the
best
thing.
of 5.
You know what makes me so upset about him?
What
Why?
makes you so upset about
Even
it?
with Angela, he has the highest damage.
Don't even get me started.
Make that make sense.
Don't even get...
This is on a live game during MPL. Make it make sense. Him on the Angela, he dealt the most damage.
He ended that game like, what, 0-5? 0-4?
Yeah, something like that.
I remember. The rest of his team was not doing
No,
well.
not
Everybody lost lane. Everybody was doing poorly, and yet he had the highest damage. It's just
This is the big fight, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like RGMY just waited and waited and waited and waited until Storm gets a big catch, and then Izanami's just like, you know what? You set it up for me. I'm gonna help you finish this. And this is unfortunate, Team Hot. It looked like a good collapse, but
Yeah,
then it just ended in RG's favor.
This was just a desperation attempt coming in here. Like, they dropped the shortcut, but they didn't really have the focus fire on who they should be fighting as well. Like, Maima and Noir was actually picking off Izanami, but aside from that, everybody else was split off from the fight. It was so awkward to actually take this composition, but as of yet, GG well played from RSGMY. Their comms was on point. We almost got the full 5 game. If we got the full 5 game, I would be really, really excited here as well. But as of now, congratulations to RSGMY because they will be the ones that advance forward into the playoffs where they will be fighting off against Homeboys and, of course, in a best of 5 series. But fortunately for them, they will have a second life. Same can be said for King Empire going up against SRG. So, with that being said, tomorrow's match, what do you think?
I'm thinking that it's going to be a good one, right? Who isn't excited for SRG and as well as the Homeboys? 2 of our more polished teams here. First and second place, respectively, up against KGE and RSG. And honestly, I do think it's kind of funny, to be fair. In the regular season, like, SRG eventually had to face off against KGE, and I think KGE put up a pretty good fight against them. Same can be said about RSG versus the Homeboys.
2 things to say here. This is going to be the real test for SRG. Because we've seen multiple teams doing well during the regular season, but once come playoff, they choke. So we do have to see. If SRG chokes tomorrow, then I don't know, man. But if they don't, then they're the real chance, the real hope for Malaysia.
I feel like we always say that. We say, like,
First it keeps happening.
It's also
keeps
true.
happening.
It does keep on happening.
If it stops happening, we stop talking about it.
You're right. You're right. So we have to win international first, and then we can stop talking about it.
Yeah. And then for Homeboys, it's like, RSG, I wanted to go up against Janus. You took that away from me. Now you know what, Vinogo? We're going to be Vino stop on you.
Okay, fair enough. With no stop. Okay, with no go, with no stop. All
I
right.
hate the fact that I was looking in his eyes when he said that.
You took him seriously, didn't you?
Oh my goodness. You know what? You know what? You know what? You don't get that. I'm wrapping it up here. This is the end of the show here at the MPL MY, day number 1 of season 13. We'll see you guys right after this. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Guys, let's go guys.
Boleh.
Ready Rin? Ready. Ready. Mati dia. Nice one. Santai guys. Guys, team. Mati dia. Nice. Gua aman guys, santai. Aman. Santai reset.
Mati Moskov.
Nice one. Nice. Good.
Basa.
Okay, nice one. Ready. Atas.
Usong ulti.
No pressure. Go.
I can still chase.
Chase. Mati. Nice. Good. Ready. Mati dia. Nice.
Reset. Nice one. Nathan dying.
Nathan Ben, go. Nice. Bang.
Chase. Funny, nice kill. Coming. No skills. Yuzong, no skills.
Nice one po. Take bot po. Nice one po.
Nice one po.
Extend Bunny. Extend must go.
Silard. Funny no blue.
Gua juga man. Flicker lagi. Low flicker. Nice one war. Si Moscow, Roger ah. No ulti. No retry. Bisa turtle ah. No ulti mo. Okay.
Careful. Nathan dying.
Nathan. Heal. Careful.
I can chase.
Behind Tan.
Careful.
Ulti stop. Fight to dead. Nathan.
Go.
Nathan ulti. Heal.
No revive.
Paksan no ulti. Take mid. Summon.
Chase them. I can end, guys. Chase them. Go.
First recall Elton.
Partial recall.
Go.